was love.
I've had relationships that have overlapped.
Right.
Okay, that's standard.
When one is kind of not completely done and I start a new one.
Right.
That's been kind of a...
That's how you do it? A thing?
It's been that's something I've tried to work on and
it's part of your habit.
It's a bad habit.
Well, here's the question.
It had been a bad habit in my past.
Here's the question.
And as I've grown up, I no longer do that.
Here's the question.
That's ill.
At that time, when each of those women said, "Do you love me?" Were you lying to one of them?
Oh. I mean, I tell them all I love them.
Oh, for the love of God. That's like, I ain't gonna lie to that nigga.
I'm just going to
do that.
I know.
This hot foot, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work, you heard. Making fiends leave earth, you heard. Got your baby mama thirst, you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf, you heard. Told Jim I need a bomb I could drop on you niggas. Bad boy, I'm never gonna stop for you niggas. I don't give a fuck who you got as the illest. I solidify my spot with gorillas. Now I'm rock with you niggas.
Alright, we back. My expert opinion. Woo! Tonight is gonna be super lit. I know I say this often, but I really, really, really be feeling like that. And I'm always right. I'm always right. I know you're wondering. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this episode is gonna be golden.
Why your back turned?
I'm just saying, because this is gonna be a golden episode.
This is disrespectful.
You know what I mean? We need to blow the horns for this one.
Blow the horn?
We need to blow the horns for this one. Yeah, I made it. Changing my number tomorrow. You know what it is. Nah, I can't even. When you see things like this in my hand, you know whoever's sitting across from me, it's official. They put in that work. Legendary shit in the game. When I say legendary shit, like, we gonna have a super debate right now because this man needs to be mentioned. Where whoever you think is at the top, he's right there. Say his name. Not yet. HYNAKEN. You ready for this?
Oh yeah, it's disco season.
MECC.
Keep the chi going.
Look, the camera, as soon as it pans over to the other side of the room, you're gonna know what it is. Shout out to everybody in the building. Everybody in the building. Listen, when it comes to the trap movement, one of the guys that was pioneer, ran with the pioneers. We talk about Dances with Wolves. Kevin Costner. Sitting across from me right now. We got DJ Drama in the building.
Oh! What's up, y'all?
Shout out to ESSO. As soon as it went over, they would have known. They would have known.
It's fine. Seti Hendrix is there.
Seti Hendrix in the building.
Repping for the Zoes.
Generation now. So life for no life.
No doubt.
It's a pleasure to be here, gentlemen. Been a big fan for a minute.
Salute. When we spoke on the phone.
For sure.
The excitement, it was there. I was like,
absolutely.
yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
Absolutely.
Dude, they don't give those away.
Yeah, those things are hard to come by.
There's legends who don't have those. That shit is like Michael Jordan. How he sent a bunch of Hall of Famers
What a beautiful
into the Hall of
180.
Fame, ringless, with no rings.
Ain't it crazy?
Yeah, the feds had you jammed up.
Had me jammed up.
Now their kids are celebrating your win.
Ain't it crazy?
Ain't it crazy? Yo, I gotta ask you, what does this mean to you?
That's it's very surreal for me. You know, when I found out I won the night of the Grammys, instead of going to the Grammys, I actually did my first Gangster Grillz performance at J. Cole's Dreamville Festival, and I brought out T.I., Jeezy, and Lil Wayne during Dreamville in front of 75,000. So it was DJ Drama Presents Gangster Grillz with those, you know, those three goats. And as I got to Dreamville, I was actually sitting doing an interview with Rob Markman and Wayno stopped mid interview and was like, hold on, this just in, best rap album goes to Tyler the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost, DJ Drama. And it's like, you know, I started Gangster Grillz 22 years ago in the 4th Ward of Atlanta in a little duplex that me and my man DJ Sense used to share, literally like as a mixtape series, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like to 22 years later to win a Grammy, like you said, like that's
everybody
that's
don't
the
get these.
that's the chip, you know.
Who
what I
did you
mean?
beat
Like,
out for that?
We beat out Donda. We beat out Certified Lover Boy. Mm-hmm. We beat out J. Cole Off Season and Nas King's Disease 2.
You
That's
found
a
out you
lineup.
won.
So it was a
at
tough-
J. Cole's
That's why this
festival.
is.
And I
That's
found
why
out
this is
at
so
Cole's
heavy.
Festival. I found out at Dreamville Festival.
Wow.
While about to perform with Wayne, Tip, and Jeezy. It's like, you know, I say this all the time, and it's really the truth. Like, when I started my career as a DJ in Philly, like, I was 13, 14, and I went to Central High School, and Broad and Erie was the subway stop up the street. And back then, like, on Thursdays and Fridays, niggas used to hand out the flyers. So my goal as a DJ was just to get my name on a flyer. Like, that's all I wanted to do. I was like, yo, I gotta get my name on a flyer.
Let's not leave New York out of that.
Like, and then New York is important because, you know, I came up here between 9th and 10th grade. My sister brought me to Harlem to 125th Street, and that was the first mixtape I ever bought when the vendors used to be outside, and I bought DJ S&S Old School Part 2. And that's literally what started my fascination with mixtape culture. You know, then, you know, I was the Ron G's and the Clues and the Doo-Wops, and, you know, I used to study all facets of DJing. Like, I used to watch DMC battle DJs, and, you know, of course, in Philly, like DJ Ran and Cosmic Kev was the radio
Shout out to
guys,
Cosmic
and
Kev.
you know, Flex was, you know, of course, like, you know, Flex was a god to me at that time of my life, and you know, party DJs as well. But it was always something about the mixtape DJ, like, you know, hearing Clue come out of cars, or like, you know, the mixtape DJ just always seemed larger than life to me. You know what I mean? More than other facets of DJ culture. So that was my fascination. You know, I literally made my first mixtape after listening to Doo-Wop 95 Live, and I made a tape called Illadelph. And, you know, I had Black Thought, I had Bahamadia, I had, rest in peace, my brother Malik B. You know, there was this group in Philly called 100X, and I literally just bit off Doo-Wop and just did a Philly version of 95 Live, and I had them like come freestyle on the tape and everything. So, you know, like, one thing about me, you know, even, and it's interesting you say like Kevin Costner, because, you know, I look at my career, I feel like Martin Scorsese or John Singleton in a lot of ways, because, like, you know, when I was making mixtapes, I used to hustle on myself. So I would have, like, you know, I was like, you know, I come from like backpack rap. Like,
Right.
I used to DJ Lyricist Lounge, and my nigga Rubik's, you know, his brother was Talib Kweli. Like, so I was cool with Black Star early on. Like, you know, was growing up listening to Tribe and Smith and Wesson. But when I was making mixtapes, you know, I used to have like a neo soul tape. I would have like a up north hip hop tape. I would have a
Electric.
reggae tape. Automatic Relaxation. Yeah,
Automatic relaxation.
that was and this was like at a time, I called it hip hop lovables, and this was at a time before, you know, niggas was really making like real hip hop love songs. Like, you know, we had like LL and certain things, but when I made that tape, it was even before the neo soul renaissance era. I'm talking about like 97, 98. So again, like, you know, I made my first South tape probably like 98. It was called Jim Crow Laws. It was called Jim Crow Laws.
Yeah.
Then I made a tape called How the South Was Won. And then in 2000, that's when I kind of came up with Gangster Grillz. And I literally was at the crib, I needed a new name for the new South series. And I was playing with words.
Look, we're not gonna let you rush through this.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
And you holding that drink a little too long.
yeah, well, I thought we was
because
on
How the
toast.
South was won was where I wanted to stop him at. Because you a Philly dude,
Right.
right?
And you
What was
adopted
your-
the South.
What was your strategy to win? Because although you was in school there,
You want Michaela, you want to grab that?
Yeah.
You was in school there. You made a transition.
Right.
What was your strategy of being an implant there and winning?
Well,
Before we start all that,
okay.
I do want to say toast
Toast.
to your success.
Salute.
Oh yeah,
Success.
Grammy,
I wish
Grammy
success
time,
for
Grammy
everybody
time.
in this room.
And we appreciate y'all coming
But
through.
we appreciate the
Absolutely.
energy.
Thank you for having me.
Tap the water.
Salute.
Cheers.
I understand it's bad luck to toast with water.
No.
It is.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Nah,
What was
for
your
you it's
strat-
cool, bro. We
You
understand.
can't toast with water.
Yeah, that's
you
why,
can't toast
that's why I
with
didn't do
water.
it. That's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It was just,
I mean, that's your thing. That's what you drink.
yeah. We'll
So-
still be respectful.
Yeah. What's your strategy?
I mean, first of all, let's put it in perspective. Like, I moved to Atlanta in the mid '90s. You know,
This
when
was
it-
after high school.
after high school, I went to Clark Atlanta University. That's what took me to Atlanta. I moved at a time when, you know, I caught the very tail end of Freaknik.
You
But
missed the
Did you go?
Dottism.
You know what I did? I was such a hustler that the last real Freaknik, so in '97, instead of partaking in all the activities, I had printed up, this guy named Moot had printed up T-shirts, and I bought a bunch of T-shirts from him, and I was hustling Freaknik T-shirts during Freaknik instead of partaking. Like, that's how much of a hustler I am. I didn't.
Wow. You gave away a couple free ones, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, as I've done mixtapes at times, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was more into like trying to make some money than I was wilding out at Freaknik. But
Right.
you know, coming to Atlanta, really, like, I don't know if I would have become the DJ I became because, you know, being in the Atlanta University Center with Clark Atlanta, with Spelman, with Morehouse, with Morris Brown, you got to understand, you have young people of color from all over the country and outside of the country. So as a DJ, I was in Philly, like, you know, doing parties, again, playing fucking Philly shit and, you know, boom bap shit. And
Right.
I remember playing fucking Dr. Octagon at parties when I was in Philly type
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
You know what I'm saying? So coming to Atlanta, it was like, when you did a party, you had niggas from Texas who wanted to hear they shit.
Yeah.
You had niggas from Florida who wanted to hear booty shake. You had New York City was there, so you had to play some tri-state shit. DC was there, so you had to get your go-go together.
Yeah.
California wanted to hear they shit.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
How about reggae? Did you play reggae
Yeah,
too?
I used to do all reggae parties. Shout to Walshy Fire, who's part of
Word.
Major Lazer. He was my RA when I got to Clark Atlanta. We came up together. He was a reggae DJ at
Yeah,
Clark at the
dreads.
same time.
Yeah,
I used
yeah.
to have long
Yeah,
dreads.
that was at Dreads. Real
Yeah, when I came to school, they call me Jamal from House Party. House Party 2. That's what they used to call
crazy,
me.
right?
Yeah, that's what they used to call
I've
me.
never seen a picture of you with dreads.
Yeah, I had long. Them shits was long as fuck. I had long dreads, like, and I was always
Yeah,
like.
I had braids down
I'm
here.
about to say maybe Mav had braids at one time.
did. You didn't see the
I
picture?
did. It was down here.
No, I
Yeah.
saw him with hair on before.
Nah, he had the
posted it. I
braids.
never saw braids.
He posted it on Twitter.
And you left the community,
Oh,
bro?
Twitter.
You
You saw he left the
couldn't make it,
community.
bro.
Definitely.
You could have stuck with us,
Bro,
man.
I wanted to. It was,
They make hats your size.
It
You
was
coulda stuck
time.
with
It
us.
was time.
He
You
said
know,
it was
time
I
to
used to
come
wear.
home.
I used to wear my shits up in crowns and everything. Like, yeah, man. Like, I'm really from the cloth.
You ever got stuck in the sink?
Huh?
You ever got stuck in the sink?
With my hair?
Yeah.
Nah, I never got stuck in the sink with it.
alright.
Nah,
Oh, you
never.
ain't real with that.
But so basically, what my point is that it made me such a well-rounded DJ because when you do parties, you had to play everything for everybody. And the thing that it taught me, like, I was real, like, when I first got to Atlanta, I was super, like, stubborn in my East Coast ways. And what I realized very early on is the same way I feel about the shit that I love is the same way all these people from various demographics feel about the shit that they love. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? So even
And
if
to be a
my ear
DJ.
wasn't trained for it, like,
Yeah.
it taught me how to be very well-rounded. So very early on, you know, I was able to adjust and, again, become the type of DJ that I am because I was in the epicenter of young black culture. You know what I mean? Like at that end, Atlanta was becoming, like I came at a time when Atlanta was literally becoming the mecca and the epicenter of hip hop. So then to fast forward just a little bit,
I'll try to take no offense to that. Try to, you know.
I mean, it's a fact. Atlanta's had the longest
They
run.
came together.
Atlanta's had the
Y'all had it though.
Listen, bro.
Y'all had it.
Atlanta's had the longest run.
I'm just saying.
He used my whole name to make that point. Like, you think you trying not to take
did.
offense?
We all know that New York City is where hip hop is birthed.
Right.
When it comes down to runs, no one has had the type of run that Atlanta has had. It is the longest dominated run in hip hop. Over the West Coast, over New York, like it's just a fact.
When do you, because to me, it started in 03 when Lil Jon was pumping that album. That's why when Lil Jon's voice on the Gangster Grillz, the Unisys coming, because I moved down south in 03.
I take it, I'll go back.
To me, that's when it took over.
Nah,
He
take
gonna
it.
go to 99.
I'm gonna take it to 96 when
can't
Outkast
say that.
put out ATLians. Like,
96.
I mean, if we're talking about the
born
South
there.
too, we gotta talk like. There's Atlanta and then there's the South because y'all gotta think about the fact
Miami,
that or the run that
Cash
Master P
Money.
had.
Here's the question.
Like
Cash
Master P
Money,
was
Master
dominating.
P.
Like Master P was dominating in 97, 98.
But
like,
Atlanta
it was
became
crazy.
It's
global
kind of
to me.
unfair because Atlanta's considered South.
It is the South.
Yeah, it's the South.
Master P's from New Orleans.
Master
look
P,
at it, bro,
so
like,
yeah, so
it's more South
saying
than
South
Bro,
Atlanta.
No, we
But here's the thing about
can
Atlanta.
say the South we can say the South got on the map at this time versus Atlanta began their run at
First of all,
So what do you
we
separate?
got to talk about So Def. We got to talk about LaFace.
True.
Like when they first,
we're-
they were competing with Bad Boy at the time.
And they wasn't,
Absolutely.
but
They
the
weren't
run-
taking, they hadn't taken over.
But the other thing about Atlanta, y'all gotta understand is even outside of just the artists, Atlanta became the space where whether it was writers, whether it was producers, whether it was studios, like
A lot of
there
people-
was
Baby Hollywood.
There was
culture,
so
everything.
much going on,
That's true.
even behind the scenes within the culture that was coming from Atlanta.
To me, 03 is when it became global.
I can agree with you there because 03.
Once that Lil Jon-
Outkast put out like Stankonia.
Stankonia.
Lil Jon came with Crunk, like,
Yeah.
and it was like,
and then your
it was
tapes came
super
in.
dominating.
Like, I was like,
I think the
yo.
emergence of T.I. changed it around because
That's
you
the
had
same time frame.
Because you had Cash Money. I'm just saying because you had Cash Money.
Tip is
but you had people
like
doing, but
Tip put out
was
Tip
the-
put out 24s in 03.
Tip was
That
the
was
lyric.
03,
Tip was the
24.
lyricist I
Yes.
think that the South needed, and when
For
Tip
sure.
came
He
along,
appealed to New York.
Yeah, Tip.
Well, Outkast was
I
the
was about to say,
lyricist.
Outkast had,
Outkast
he already had the respect.
they were
for
the
New York
album
up
that
there,
was
though.
Outkast
Real
was
lyrics.
not in the way that
That's why he did what he
lyricism.
did.
Not in the way that T.I. did.
Yeah, because Tip touched the streets.
That's the early.
Rubber
Yeah.
Band
Touch the
Man
streets,
was-
though.
Yeah.
Out of here, we love
Spinning.
what?
We love that.
Tip
We
touched
loved
the
it.
streets.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Street.
And then
Anything
Tip was
Tip put out,
Tip
we
was
fucking
fucking with Dipset early on.
Yeah.
Like him and L. Jewels was doing records
So that
early.
combination with you and him,
So-
I was like, whew.
So even just to take it back, so just to put it in perspective, so all this was going on, right? But at the same time, like, I was literally, being a student of the game and being from up north, like, I was a mixtape guy from Philly who came up on Clue and Tony Touch and Doo-Wop and Flex and Slay and, Rest in Peace and so many, like, I was listening to more East Coast mixtapes than I was like South. And at the time, like there was Edward J, there was DJ Smurf, who later became College Park. He was doing mixtapes, and then Big Oomp Camp. And they really dominated they had the mixtape game on smash. Like them niggas, Big Oomp had stores all across Atlanta. Like they had it on smash. I basically, the way I was able to take over or to make my stamp is I literally just took an up north approach and applied it to Southern music. So when I was doing Gangster Grillz, like people would tell me early on, like, yo, listen, like in the South, they don't want to hear you talking over records. They don't want to hear new music. Like they want to hear like, the hits, what they're used to, and you just playing the music. And I went totally against the grain. I started talking on my tapes. I was biting the shit out of Green Lantern and Who Kid. Like, without Green, There would be no
GL.
Gangster Grill drop. There would be no Cannon
Green
drop.
Lantern.
Yeah.
Like without Who Kid making the 8-page fold outs. Like me and Cannon was going crazy. Like, yo, these niggas is like next level in the shit. So me linking up with Tip was like, oh, okay, here's an artist that I can literally, you know, this is my 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying?
You can take him anywhere. He can go anywhere.
Like what Who Kid and 50 was doing, or what Green and M was doing, or you know what K and Dip and Dipset, what Slay was doing. Like, okay, cool. Now I literally applied a up north formula to Southern music, and the shit took the fuck off. And it was like, yeah, people kept saying, oh, they don't want to do this and do that. And I was going drop crazy on my tapes. I started talking shit. And that's one thing, like, I always say that, you know, like what I brought to the game. Like, before me, DJs used to do a lot of, like, store shout-outs or, like, people shout-outs or, you know, things of that nature. Like, when I started getting on them tapes, like when I did Jeezy's tape and when I did Trap or Die, I literally started giving sermons and, like, talking that talk. Yeah. You know, I'll never forget 2 Chainz when he was still Titty Boy, when I did Trap or Die, and I said, every street nigga ain't a rapper, every rapper ain't a street nigga, but when you get it right. And he came to me, he was like, bro, when you said that, like, it touched me. You know, so that's one thing that I literally brought to the game was, and outside of me taking everybody else's formula, I took it from shout outs to literally talking that talk on the music. I was listening to the lyrics, I was listening to the songs, and I was, you know, making myself a part of the music instead of just like, shout out to so-and-so or this store, that store, you know what I mean? Like, I started really like adding on, and I became
like the ad lib.
Yeah, I became a part of it.
100%.
100%. I took my personality.
What was
and
the
put it.
distribution like at that time?
It was okay. I mean, early on, I did a lot of the shit. I was a one-man band. I was going to Kinko's, making my own covers, flirting with the girl at the counter, so I could, you know, make 300 color covers and only pay $20.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was.
You remember her name?
I don't.
Did you take it down? For the extra discount.
I went on a date with her. I don't think I ever smashed, but I did.
You let
Hey, yo, come on. This guy.
Yo, we talking about.
Right
We talking about 22 years ago. Like,
you in a relationship, I understand this. You good?
Nah, it ain't got nothing to do with no relationship. Like, we can talk freely. It's been a lot in between those times.
I said, yo, nigga, he said it's been a lot.
Jesus Christ. It's been a hell of a journey.
It's been a lot of takedowns.
What a time.
It's been a hell of a journey.
What a time
What a time.
to be alive.
When niggas start cleaning their nails, you know what's up.
That's a clip right there, Ghost.
But yeah, I was moving to myself like a lot. And I remember one time I wound up, when I did Gangster Grillz 6, it was hosted by Killer Mike and Bone Crusher. And I found the bootlegger spot where the Africans was at. And literally, this was when Get Rich or Die Trying came out. And I went into the bootleg spot and I saw just as many Gangster Grillz 6s as I did Get Rich or Die Tryings. And I realized, like, yo, these niggas is eating. Like, they was making more money than I was making at the time. Like, I was barely just getting by, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
My first real time ever really seeing any money, and we can come back to this, was through BMF. Like, that was
That era was.
yeah, and I was there for the whole era.
For the whole
like
ride.
BMF had logos on Gangster Grillz.
Did Jeezy introduce you to that?
No, actually, I met Meech through my man Clay and through my man Biddy. That's how I originally met Meech and Blue Da Vinci. But it was all happening around the same time, you know. But just to get back to your question, there was this white guy named Jason Brown, and he used to actually work with the competition, this other DJ, and for some reason they stopped working together. And then Jason Brown came to work for me, and when Jason came to work for me, he implemented a system and a structure that took my distribution shit to the next level. And then my bank account started going up and up and up and up. Because there was a point in time.
Who was the competition?
I mean, there really was no competition.
Other people that was out at the time.
At the time, Smalls was out. DJ Smalls.
Even back then?
Southern Smoke.
Wow. Oh, Southern
Southern
Smoke.
Who was Jason working with?
Jason was working with this DJ named Bobby Black.
Bobby Black.
Yeah, and I smoked him. That's my man though. Shout out to Bobby
Yeah,
Black,
yeah,
but
right.
yeah, I mean,
That's my
clearly.
man, but I smoked him.
Yeah, I
Southern
smoked.
Smoke was a good series.
No, Smothered.
That's some battle rap shit.
I'm about to
I love that
say.
shit.
No,
Yeah.
so-
that was a good
Oh,
series.
no,
Smoke was
I'm a
different.
very competitive person. Like, it's,
no.
it's rap. Like when we get on the court, when we off the court, we friends all day. But
Right.
when we get on the court, I'm gonna bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at
Competition without malice.
I look at it. You know, but so yeah, Jason came to work for me, and then, you know, because there was a period of time even after Gangster Grillz started that like. Shit wasn't really panning out. You know, we hadn't started the affiliates yet. We was part of this other group called the Super Friends. And I was like, I wasn't, my money was, you know,
was shaky.
It was short. And I just said on Seti's tape, on Can't Go, it's just true story. Like before this Gangster Grillz shit, like I was literally being able to pay my water bill. I had just had my first daughter, you know, and I had literally almost considered moving back to Philly, like, cause I was like, man, this shit ain't panning
doing
out. You know what I'm saying?
What made you keep pushing?
2 months. I mean, as I was thinking about it, literally, I swear, within like we left the Super Friends. They wanted to do Gangster Grillz was the biggest brand. Jacob York offered the Super Friends opportunity to do an album. So the Super Friends were like, hey, listen, because the Super Friends was on fire in Atlanta. And they were like, look, if we do an album, I think we should use it called Gangster Grillz because that's the hottest brand out of the clique, out of the DJs. And you know, I was a little shaky with the idea because we weren't really seeing eye to eye on everything. So I basically told them, nah, I'm not with that. Like I don't want to call it Gangster Grillz. So they kicked me out of the Super Friends. So
did that mean that everybody's hand was gonna be in your pot? Or?
Well, at the time, I think Jacob offered the Super Friends like 50 grand to do an album. And it was like, yeah, we're gonna use Gangster Grillz. And I was like, that's my shit. I'm not cool with that. So they were like, basically like, and we're all good friends to this day. Like, shout to Mars, shout to DJ Trauma.
Right.
And that was a whole nother issue because there was a DJ named Trauma that and he was on fire and people used to get us confused. His mom name is Tyree, his name is Tyeri, like, it was crazy. So, it was a point I was frustrated just in general. It was DJ Trauma, there was K-Slay was calling himself the Drama King. I didn't know if I needed to change my name or what to do. And, we wound up leaving the Super Friends, me, Cannon, and Sense. Shot my brother Ace McLeod, and he was like, yo, we don't need them, we can do our own shit. And he literally came up with the affiliates, the A for Atlanta, affiliates, we spelled it with the PH because we were all from Philly. And we started the affiliates, and our shit, like, we was the new kids on the block, and we was hot, and the energy shifted from the Super Friends to the affiliates, and next thing you know,
was there any drama in between?
Oh,
that?
for sure. Oh, yeah.
What was the?
Well, it was us versus them. So, even they added Bobby Black later on after we left. They needed a mixtape DJ, and we were taking little shots at each other on tapes and things of that nature. And it was definitely like.
Did it ever get deep? Like,
it never got to know like street shit. Like, we're DJs. I mean, my man DJ Sense is a little hothead, so he got into a couple rumbles, but outside of that, it was just competition. It was everybody was vying for the spot. And at the time they were the dark AG Entertainment.
AG was fucking with them back then?
Yeah, AG, they were his go-to guys. And then AG started to transition, and Cannon became his go-to guy, and Sense was doing a lot. I was, AG didn't really see me as the club guy, so he used to always give me like the open up slot, you know what I'm saying? And then, but I became that nigga, like, in the streets, like, as everybody else was, focused on parties and radio and all that shit, like, I was like, look, I'm gonna make my own name, like, I'm on these mixtapes, like, this is what's gonna get me to the point I needed to do. And you look up and, I was the hottest, like, next thing you know, Gangster Grillz was, you couldn't drive nowhere in Atlanta and not hear my brand and not hear, a DJ drama mixtape.
what was that feeling like?
It was amazing.
When you realized you were number one, because I know this kind of like, for everyone, it doesn't really hit them because you get into emotion of like, I'm just moving, and then you look up one day and it's like, oh shit, I'm the hottest thing out here. Did it hit you? Did you get to celebrate, or was it like still more work to do?
I mean, I've had that feeling at various times in my career. Definitely Trap or Die. Like, I was on the road with Tip. I was T.I.'s DJ during that era, and when Trap or Die came out, we were literally on tour for Urban Legend, and there wasn't a city I went to where I didn't hear my shit playing. Detroit, Philly, New York, the West Coast, Florida. Like, Trap or Die was coming out of every car in every hood, and I was like, damn, this is what it used to feel like when I used to hear Clue shit coming out of the cars. Like, nigga, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So that was probably one of my early first, like, I made it moments. But, you know, the type of person I am and how I am with my career, and because I've been DJing, I had already DJed, you know, I started in 92. You know, Juice is what inspired me to become a DJ. I always felt like, okay, just like a nigga going to college and then getting drafted and going to the league. Okay, I got here. How do you stay here? Because a lot of people get here, and I saw a lot of people, you know, I watched, with all respect due, like, I watched DJ Nabs be the biggest thing out of Atlanta. Like, albums, television, radio, and then the next thing you know, he was nowhere to be seen, you know what I'm saying? And that, you know, and I don't mean that in any malice type of way.
But you
it's
think
just the reality.
He celebrated too soon, or?
I can't say. All I'm saying is I know that for me, when I got to that space where I knew I was it and I was here, I was like, all right, you got here, Drum, but how do you stay here? Like, don't slow up. Don't get comfortable. Like, this is a long, you know what I'm saying? This is
a marathon.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So even when Trap or Die came out, I was like, damn, what the fuck I'm gonna do next? Like, what can I do next? Like, how am I gonna top this? And I happened to be on tour with Tip. He was on the phone with Wayne. I was like, yo, you talking to Wayne? Let me talk to him.
Okay.
I was in my bunk. This is when I had the bunk. Now I got the back room on the bus. Like the
my man.
boss room. But I paid my dues, Seti.
Bro.
I used to sleep
I'm on the bunk right now.
I used to sleep on the bunk.
Fresh out young nigga, but I'm on the bunk. Definitely on the bunk.
You
right
gonna
now.
get there.
I was on the bunk, and Tip passed me the phone. And this was Wayne when he was doing the Squad Up tapes. And I was like, yo, you know, it's time. We got to get one in. He was like, let's do it. And literally, like, it's so amazing when I think about it. Like, bro, when I named it Dedication, like, it just came out of nowhere.
One of the legendary series of all time.
For me, that's the one for me.
Yeah.
No, I always argue. Well,
I was about to say, that's better than
Trap or
Trap.
Die or
That's better than
Dedication
Trap or
2?
Die.
Dedication 2 and
Yeah,
Trap or Die.
Which one is better?
Dedication 2.
Dedication 2.
Trap or Die, bro.
Me, it's Trap or
Trap or
Die.
Die.
It's Trap or
Just
Die.
said
For
that.
me, it's Dedication 2.
Dedication.
Because I was there for that.
Dedication 2.
I love yo.
But I love Dedication
I
2.
love Wayne.
We all
You know what I'm
do.
saying?
Right.
We all do.
No,
And you know, and
those tapes made me love.
No, Dedication, because of the system of mixtapes, like Wayne had put out the Carter, so he was coming into becoming into the best rapper alive. But Dedication was all over Canal Street. So all the East Coast really picked up on Wayne because of Dedication.
That's
when,
when,
see what I'm saying?
That was when New York started to like,
exactly.
You know, was that
What you
before? Was that? I just want to ask something. Was that before Touch It or Not with Cameron?
It might have been around the same time.
No, that was a little bit after.
It was after.
That was
Touch
a little
It or
bit
Not was after?
Well, Touch It or Not might have been out around Dedication 2. Dedication 1 came out before Touch It or Not. But it was around the same era.
That dedication is what made people look at Wayne as a lyricist.
100%.
Yes,
Right.
you did.
because the production.
That's why I like
Shit,
Dedication.
it was shit that we was
That's why I
like this.
like
You know how many
Dedication too.
New York
I like
rappers were
Dedication 1 and
snatching up
2.
those cans and be like, yo, I need to rhyme on this.
I like them both.
Hearing him on that shit was like, oh shit.
It was different.
And watching him.
Yo,
And by the way, I didn't know. Like, you know, like Wayne, like back then, like Wayne was, Tunchi was like the wobbly drop it like it's hot guy to
Yeah,
me.
and that's how we looked at
You
him.
feel what I'm
until
saying?
then.
Yeah.
So
Until then.
when he sent me the music for dedication, and I was like, yo, this nigga's on some shit. Like, this is not what I even expected. Like, and I was listening to Squad Up tapes and everything, so I was like, oh, Wayne's on his rap shit, you know, and even on Squad Up tapes, that's when I think he first started taking a couple little shots at Hov and things like that. But when I got the music, the dedication, I was like, yo, like, this is different. And the culmination of the title, of the cover, of the artwork.
The artwork
was
dumb.
You fucked the whole game.
The artwork was dumb.
Shout out to Rob Petrozzo, like he's a genius when it came to the artwork. The artwork for dedication, the time, and by the way, I named it dedication even before Katrina. So when we did dedication 2 and then Katrina hit, it was just like.
So you think dedication 2 is way
It's
better than
legendary.
1?
Dedication 2 is
way better
arguably
than
the
one.
best mixtape of all time.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's up there with Trap or Die.
I love dedication
I piggyback
too,
back and
though,
forth,
like-
you know, and both those are my guys, and they've gotten on me at times about which one I say is one and which
But
one
to say
is two.
the best mixtape of all time and a teeter-totter on 1 and 2, and it's you.
Yeah, it's pretty
You
crazy.
dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Some ill nigga shit.
That's some ill shit.
yeah.
Can I ask a
And he
selfish
got the
question?
dedication too, so it's 3 of them technically.
No,
he got-
there's
he got
seven
the
of them.
dedication.
There's 7 of them.
There's
but I'm
1, 2,
just
3,
saying,
4,
but-
5, 6, and then 6.5.
I just want to give you respect to your humility. Because we're going to jump a little bit ahead, but Math likes to bring it back.
Yeah, I like that. I want the full story.
No, when you got jammed up, it always fucked with me when Wayne said, drama got to move a little bit smarter. That fucked with me.
You know who else it fucked with?
Who?
My grandmother. She was upset.
I was upset
She didn't
about
like
that.
My grandma was upset.
And you never really, the way you kept it classy,
Yeah.
I never heard nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I felt the way I never met you, and I'm like,
And
how
we
you gonna
weren't
say that
expect, we
shit?
weren't expecting you to keep quiet with all the talk we got used to on the mixtapes. Knew
Yeah,
for sure you was
it
about
fucked
to
with
start.
me. I ain't gonna lie to
Yeah,
you.
so what?
A lot of people don't even really remember that.
I remember
Oh,
it.
we all
Yeah.
remember.
Nah, what happened?
So-
I don't even remember that.
When they
Yeah, we
asked
know
Wayne
about
about it, after I got locked up, they asked Wayne how he thought, and he said, Drum needs to move a little smarter like Clue or Khaled.
Yeah.
Wayne said
So in
that?
his
Yeah, it's
and-
documented.
Yeah, it's documented.
It's on footage.
That was his response
Yeah,
when
he
they asked
said that.
him.
He said that.
In his defense, around that time, there was a company and there were various people that started putting barcodes on the mixtapes and they were putting them in stores, unbeknownst to me and not sanctioned by me. They were taking my tapes and my tapes wound up in Best Buy and in Target. So one day I looked up on 106 in Park and they were like, new releases, brand new Young Jeezy, Camp and the Snowman, and T.I. The Leak. And I'm getting calls from Coach K and Jason Jeter like, yo, why are the Gangster Grillz on fucking 106 in Park as new releases? So basically this company, it was called BCD, and they were literally like took my masters, or quote unquote masters, and put barcodes on them. So Jason Brown had made a deal with them early on. And I think he sold like 2 masters for like 10 grand, right? Now I didn't know that they was gonna take them and put them in the fucking Best Buy and Target. So when they did it, I was like, yo, I called them like, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, whoa, y'all, this, no. Like,
do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's
Copyright
against the rules. That's
infringement.
against the rules. That's not how we play the game. There were some motherfuckers from Europe, this white
it
guy
is.
and white lady, and they were like, no, it's all good, it's okay, it's fine, it's cool.
The standard.
Then these motherfuckers went and literally took my whole catalog and bootlegged my shit and put it in stores and barcoded it. And that shit was, you could go in Target and Best Buy, or you could go overseas and that shit was showing up. So, you know, there was a period where me and Busta had an issue, Dog Pound had an issue, because they were walking in stores and seeing the shit in there. And they're like, yo, like, you know, they're not seeing that money. And they're like, oh, okay, Drum's over here getting this money from out of here. And that wasn't, you know, I never saw none of that. You know what I'm saying? So in Wayne's defense, I was only to assume that that may have been the reason why he said that, you know what I'm saying? So I gave it, you know, I didn't take it personal because I knew that was going on, and I knew that any artist wouldn't technically look at me sideways. But then there was also a time and a space, I ain't gonna lie, where like, you know, artists were looking at it like, well, Drum's eating off these mixtapes, and we're not seeing no money. Like, Drum's eating, and I would be, you know, in my defense, I'm like, nigga, y'all niggas is seeing that off one show or two shows. Like, don't count my pockets. Like, yeah, I'm making good money, but you niggas is out here charging $150,000 a show, like, off of something that we did together. So we all should be able to eat, you know. And mind you, looking back on it at the time, if I would have did it again, I would have easily broke niggas off with a 25 here or a 50 here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was young, like I wasn't, you know, knowledgeable to where I'm at now, where, you know, yeah, just a thank you. Like, I'm getting money, like, here, my nigga, like, take that. I know it's not a lot, but just out of appreciation.
But you only doing what you saw, and nobody advertises that.
Nobody ever done that.
You didn't know that was
so I didn't know. You know, I'm as a 44-year-old, like, looking back on it in my 20s, that would have been an honorable thing to do. Just throw a nigga, you know, a quick, just out of a thank you. But again, like, it was all new. Bro, I come from a very middle class background. Like, I had never seen that type of money before. Like, I didn't even know what to do with the money. Like, when them niggas came and took my bank account, like, nigga, I had 6 figures in there. I just used to, like, sit and look at the money every day. Like, I watched my shit go from 10 grand to 50 to 100 to 200 to 300 to 400 to 500, and I didn't know shit about investments. I didn't know shit about stocks. Like,
was it a business account?
It was a business account.
You knew how to make money though.
I knew how to make it, but I didn't know what to do with it at the time.
How did you feel? Because we've had plenty of people on the show that kind of discussed, like, when they started making that type of money and how it was like, it almost made them nervous.
It did. Absolutely. Because it was new to me. Like, I don't come from money, you know. I don't come from poverty, but, you know, my parents never had seen that type of money, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what to do with it. Like, I just used to look at it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I mean.
Did you have a fear of it ending? Some people don't spend.
No, and the crazy shit is it did, because they took all the shit from me. And I had to, like, literally start from scratch. I mean, I had cash on the side, but the bank account they took, like, and I didn't even know about the RICO. So the day I got out and I called Tip, like, he like, yo, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And he like, yo, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm straight, my bank account. He like, bro, they hit you with the RICO. You need to go check your bank account. I went online, went to Bank of America, that shit said 0.00. Yo, I broke down in tears, my nigga.
We all would.
That shit went from 6 figures to 0. They took everything and they kept it all. And then basically the law that they said they got me on was the true name law, which means when you, if you sell any music, you have to have an address on the back of it. So if you remember CDs back in the day, like from the labels, they all had.
Boulevard,
they would all have the labels.
Santa Monica.
They would all have the labels address. You know, I had black. It was black covers, so we didn't have. I didn't know to put an address on the back of it. So that was what they got me on.
That's how they janked your bank account.
And they kept everything.
Their lawyers are some real niggas.
They said the true name law. And I didn't have an address on the back of the CDs.
I could never figure that out.
That's how they kept my shit.
Were you scared to restart after that? Seeing 0-0, you had some
I wasn't.
cash?
You know what? And thankfully I had motivational people around me, and them niggas made me more famous than I ever was. Like, I remember the Super Bowl that year was in Miami, and like, people knew who DJ Drama was, like, if you was into hip hop. When I walked down Collins Ave, because literally this happened in January, and then the Super Bowl was 2-3 weeks later.
February.
Like, bro, like, the type of attention I was getting, and you know, it wasn't just niggas who was in the mixtapes. Like, everybody knew who I was. Like, I wound up, like, Billboard 6 months earlier told me, you know, they asked me to do something for them, and I was like, if you put me on the cover, and they was like, we don't put DJs on the cover. After the raid, Billboard said, hey, if you give us the exclusive, we'll give you the cover. I wound up on the cover of Billboard magazine. Like, it made me, Atlantic called me like, yo, how quick can you get your album done? Like, you can't pay for this type of publicity. Wow. So, you know, it made me hotter than ever. Yeah. And then on top of that, I'm such a student, I come from the cloth so much that like I literally felt guilt that a culture that I grew up and I was raised on was about to die on my shoulders. You feel me? Like watching, like thinking about like Brucey B and Kid Capri and Lovebug Starsky and Clue and Ron G and Doo-Wop and SNS and Tony Touch and Who Kid and Green and all these guys and Slay.
And right after that, he started straight stunting.
And
right after that.
Yeah, and Vlad went to Vlad TV, straight stunting.
Everybody got out of Dodge.
Everybody got out of Dodge.
Clinton Sparks went and did something else.
Who said he saw it coming?
Yeah, at the mixtape game, that was the day the game changed. And I felt like, damn, like, I can't let this shit die on my shoulders. Like, this is a culture I grew up loving, and when I become the top of the food chain, I gotta take the blame for
killing it,
for killing mixtapes. Like that shit ate me up inside.
You know when it hurt me? When I saw the video of your Maserati on the flatbed. I was like, how the fuck he got a Mazzy? Oh, we gotta get in this game, man. I looked, I said, these are some scum niggas. You ever got that car back?
He didn't keep it.
I know it's back in it. Did they ever give you?
I never got that car back.
Yo, these cunts.
He didn't keep it.
I never got that car back.
So you're at zero.
Yeah, I still had some cash.
Right.
But I was at zero.
But what was the next call?
Atlantic called.
Atlantic trying to get the album together.
Craig Kalman, Julie Greenwald, Kevin Lyles, and Mike Kaiser all called me and said, how quick can we get an album done? So
how much bread did they throw at you?
Well, basically, I had two. They took two accounts.
Right.
So they took my Drama Like the DJ account, and then I had another account which was my label budget. They gave that back. So they gave back the label money, and we were able to, you know, put the album together and make the album. And my bookings went up after that.
What was the next project that you dropped after that?
The first, interestingly enough, I think the first tape I did after the raid, the last tape I did before the raid was Jim Jones' 7 Day Theory. That was the last tape I did, because that was what I was in the Mozzie listening to. But the first tape I did, I think, was Briscoe, if I'm not mistaken. But the biggest tape that I did and then I did Gangster Grillz 16. I did Gangster Grillz 16, which was just just to show that I was not giving up on mixtapes. Right. And I put that out. Then I did 17, like preliminary before the album. But the biggest tape probably after the raid was Dedication 3. Like, I think that was the one. And we did that in 08 because I say on that tape, like, yo, this is y'all remember, this will be the first mixtape you listen to when we had a black president. So literally that tape had to come out like November 08 or something like that.
How long did it take to get the money back?
2008 for sure.
Like,
make the money back, I should say. They didn't give it back to you.
It took me a couple years. I mean, you know, I was able to still see money. I mean, you know, I was getting money from the label for my albums. I was doing a lot of gigs. Like, I had got off the road with T.I. I stopped DJing for him around that era, which was, you know, kind of happened. It really wasn't like I chose to. Like,
yeah,
it was kind of
distance.
Well, what happened was me and Jeezy were going through our situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Tip chose to, you know, like, listen, I'm gonna go this direction. And it is what it is. Like, you know, we're all brothers to this day. So, you know, and at the time there was somebody on my team that was a little reckless, you know, and so I ain't even gonna say his name, but he, you know, he added fuel to the fire at the time, and so I understood the decision. But it also, you know, I was making what, $1,250, $1,500 as tips DJ, and then when I started my own gigs, I started to be able to charge 5, 75s, 10 grands, and you know, I started to I was booked all the time. Like, I was working every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, so.
Now, the only thing that made me ask, I know people who, I've known rappers who lost their rap book and never rapped again. You lost a whole bank account. Like, I can see a lot of people just, okay, that's enough. This obviously wasn't meant for me. That's enough for that.
My nigga, for me, listen, man, I watched Puff go through the situation, the celebrity basketball game. I watched other executives or artists get knocked down. So when I started doing interviews and everyone wanted to ask me about that, I knew at the time, I was like, yo, this is not gonna define me. Like, this is just one chapter in my story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew then, like, I'm gonna accomplish enough that, like, I got to a point, it's a generation out here that don't even know about the raid. You feel me?
Right.
Know a lot about DJ Drama. I talk to people to this day, they're like, what? You got arrested for mixtapes? Like, when did this happen? You know what I'm saying? So like, I knew then, like, yo, the real challenge of success is getting knocked down and how you deal with adversity. And, you know, the gift and the curse of my name is that I've had various dramas in my career, and I've had various times when you could say I don't want to say knocked down, but when my back is against the wall, and I've prevailed through them all.
Do you feel like you marked yourself?
Oh, man, I feel like
God.
I feel like when I named myself that, God chuckled. Like, he's like, oh, I got something for you, kid.
I got some drama for you.
Yeah, I got
You like that name, nigga?
I got something for you.
I got you.
Yeah, like I got you.
Rolled his
Like,
sleeves up. Well, drama, hold my beer.
and I remember when Clue was on here, he was talking about how his MC name was Drama, and then like the irony of me becoming DJ Drama, like, and, you know,
And
but
been going through so much drama.
yeah, I mean,
Did you ever rap?
nah, I could never. If I could have rapped, like, I'd give these niggas problems, cause the shit I spit on the mixtapes.
And he
Like,
freestyle this shit though. He don't even write none of it
yeah, I
down.
don't write my shit
He
down.
don't write
Like,
none of it down.
I go in there and
boom.
I bar up. I'm like Hov and Wayne when it comes to that. Like,
Right.
my
You know
shit
what?
talking.
Awesome.
That thing, that Clue just went viral for you. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, I just seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
When he said
feels
niggas need to
he
write.
feels like niggas need to write their rhymes down now, cause that would make the music better.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's not those guys. Like, everybody
Yeah,
isn't
everybody doesn't have that
those
talent.
ones. And, you know, like, there's rappers that are greats that use a pen and a pad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
everybody can't just go in there and go off the top of the head. But the guys that do are some of the greats, and some of the guys that write the shit down, like, you know,
If you
if I'm not
trash-
mistaken, Drake and Nas, they use a pen and a
If
pad.
you trash
Like,
with
No,
a
but-
pen and a pad, you're gonna be trash off the head. Like, just write,
Yeah,
write shit.
that's that. But in rappers' defense, I feel like when you do it off the top of your head, the flow is easier.
What you mean by that?
It's more fitted.
Fact.
Not if you
Why
ain't-
is
not
that?
if you ain't-
It
not
depends
if you ain't
on the
got it.
rapper.
gotta be nice, right?
Because sometimes you'll write something.
you write your shit down, said?
I've tried, and I end up, this is what I do. I write something down, and I'll go in there, and I'll probably go off the first 2 bars, and then I'll put the phone down and go to, but them first 2 bars just gave me the whole song. Like,
Right.
gave me the chorus and everything to talk about.
Sometimes it's too wordy.
Yeah, it
Sometimes
sounds-
the beat, you find
yeah.
yourself rushing. But
Yeah.
when you just let it flow, like Bigga been in studio sessions with me where I just go in the booth and I just sit there and I'll be like, da 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 da. All right, that's the first line.
Punching.
All right, da 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 da.
Punching rap.
And it's, and it's easier to breathe.
Ain't nothing wrong
Really?
with
Because you come from an
Either.
era
The
when
beat a
niggas...
lot better.
Yeah, that's how I do my shit. Like,
Interesting.
that's how I go in
But
there.
y'all
like,
come from the era where dudes didn't punch in.
Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah, niggas
that's
was
why the
right.
fact
Yeah.
that y'all.
Right.
I
Niggas
punch
was
my
writing.
shit in, but I
Interesting.
go off the top of the head. But if I could rap, I give these niggas problems. Like,
I like this talk.
I just said that on Simba tape. Like, nigga, like
That's fact.
you lucky I
don't
can't rap because I be on your top, Simba.
Because
You
it's a
said
lot
that
of
on the
deep-
tape?
Huh? I said that on the tape. I said, yeah, you
Oh,
lucky.
you on some? You been on?
I said, yo, you lucky I can't. You lucky I can't
You
make
said
my
this
shit
on his
rhyme
tape.
because I be on your top, Simba. I said that on his tape.
Because there's a lot of DJs that used to
Man.
rap though.
Yeah,
that's why
I could
I
never.
asked.
That's why I became a DJ. I couldn't make my shit rap. I couldn't
Yo,
make
when
my
I
shit rhyme.
DJ'd, like-
And my homeboys used to all freestyle and like, you know, we used to be like literally free. There's a video out there. Y'all could probably find it and put it in. There's a video.
Here we go.
Here we go.
There's a video of Sway in the Morning in Austin, Texas.
South by Southwest.
South by Southwest.
Yeah.
It's me, Nipsey Hussle, and I think was Tech 9 there? And they got me to kick a freestyle. And I rapped in front of Nipsey and Tech 9. And my shit was trash. But it does
But
exist.
you rapped.
I did. I freestyled.
This
off
was
the
on
top of
Sway's
the head.
show?
It was on Sway in the Morning, South by Southwest. DJ Drama, Nipsey Hussle.
He pulled it up.
I think Tech 9 was on there. I think Tech 9 was there too.
Yeah,
That's embarrassing that I even tried that in front of fucking Tech 9 and Nipsey Hussle, but
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
watching
Oh,
this
yeah, I
and
don't know
you're
if
trash,
this is-
don't. Just don't. Write it down.
keep
Think
putting
it
that
out.
work in.
No, think it out. Think it out. Just write it.
Definitely
Make it the
think
best
it
thing
out.
you
While
can.
he's looking
Don't-
for that, one of the things you said, you became bigger after the raid and the Dat Piff and live mixtapes era. Like,
Yeah.
how did you know?
The
Well,
transition. What was the transition
well,
like?
I always look at it like a phoenix arose from what happened with me. Because honestly, the mixtape business became more profitable and bigger than ever after the raid.
Why is that? With all the eyeballs on it.
Well, I mean, first of all, it was already going into a transition where the blogs were becoming the new mixtapes. When you had Nah Right, you had
Two Dope Boys.
you had Rap Radar.
Rap Radar.
So that was where people were getting their new music from.
AllHipHop.com.
All hip hop. And then you had this new generation of artists, Cole, Kendrick, Wiz, Drake. Who am I forgetting?
There's so many that came out.
That were all Big Sean, that all started putting out mixtapes without DJs, but they were still their mixtapes.
Right.
So then here's this new school of artists that then became, you know, who are our GOATs today.
Right.
That started putting out projects on their own after the raid and were coming up and becoming those guys. And then like during
But they
my
were like albums.
they were doing like albums,
but
but they were still
it
mixtapes.
was a lot of original
and then,
music.
And then you know, and then it became a space where it literally went back for promotional use. Because then through social medias, through Twitter, like I remember putting send space links up on Twitter of mixtapes and just giving them away. Like in my early era, in the early 2000s, we looked at that Piff like the enemy because they were giving away free downloads. And we're like, yo, y'all fucking our shit up. You know what I'm saying? But then it became a time where live mixtapes and Dat Piff were, you know, they started to reach out to me and say, hey, listen, man, like we want to do business with you. So
So they would offer you.
I started out with live mixtapes.
Right.
They started giving me checks.
What was that bag like?
The live mixtapes bag was cool. Shout to Techniques, Coach Tech, who manages 2 Chainz. He did the first introduction to me for live mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a call from KP, who ran Dat Piff, and said, hey, listen, I don't know what you're getting over there, but let's have a conversation.
Right.
And I went to that, and then I wound up going over to Dat Piff.
And what was that bag like?
Incredible.
It was incredible. He told us a number.
KP, Kawan.
What was the number?
Kawan Prince.
No, not Kawan Prather. Not that KP.
I had
That's
a
a
meeting
different
with
KP. Different KP. He's,
Oh, I
he's
thought
from
that's like KP.
no, he's from
That
Pennsylvania.
Piff.
Different KP.
Okay, all right,
But
all
he
right.
ran Dat Piff, and then they literally were paying me a monthly salary every month. So if an artist came to me to do a tape, I said, listen, if we do this tape,
It's gotta
it
go
has to go on Dat Piff.
Piff, okay.
'Cause-
What was
and
that bag like?
It was crazy. I made more money in the Dat Piff era than I did
In the mixtape?
in the early before the raid. I definitely made a couple million with Dat Piff. Like
Damn, because you told us off camera how much you was getting
For sure.
per month.
But he said
but
2
it's
million
kinda-
altogether. I'm satisfied.
He said off
Like
camera
when
how
they
much you
started
was getting a
cutting,
month.
you know, it was real money. Like,
Right.
and
No,
it's crazy.
I believe it.
To the point, you know, somebody even asked me earlier today, like, I was mad at myself, like, damn, why didn't I create this platform? Like, I literally could have did it myself and got all that ad share and revenue,
Right.
and made people drop Gangster Grillz on gangstergrills.com.
But that's what it
You was
was.
up
You
for
know what
that
I'm
work
saying?
though?
That was
'Cause
the
you was
flip.
creating
I mean,
at
I
that
would,
time.
I should have, because if they was paying me that, imagine what they was making.
Right. Oh, they was making videos, but you
shout
was
out to
creating.
them for even doing that.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then they started
Exactly.
cutting. Then they started cutting the artist checks. So
Right.
first it started with the DJs. Then they started cutting artist checks to drop
Their mixtapes,
the mixtapes on there.
exclusively there.
Didn't 21 say that to us?
Like,
Yeah.
I know Future I remember Future getting a crazy check. I remember, you know, when we did Dedication, maybe 5 or 4, they gave Wayne a crazy check to drop it on there. And all that was going smooth. It was good. And it all changed when Drake dropped If You're Reading This, It's Too Late.
Too Late.
And it went to Apple. Because that was the beginning of mixtapes now going on streaming platforms and not being solely on that Piff Flop mixtapes or mymixtapes.com.
Was that
You're
good?
saying-
Was that good or
Drake's-
bad?
Drake's project changed.
It shifted everything.
Was that good or bad though? Was that a problem?
Was that hold
I mean,
all right,
it
so now I
stopped,
gotta
it
ask.
stopped the money.
Was
Like,
the title was the title kind of like a flaunt of we know what we're doing?
I don't know.
If you're reading this, it's too late.
I mean,
It's
you know,
so far-
originally
it
that
so
was
far
so-
gone. It was so far gone.
No, bro. So Far Gone
So
is
Far Gone has
08.
been out.
We talking
Nah.
about 2015.
Yeah.
I'm
The
talking
shift
yeah.
from being on Dat Piff and the
I mean,
platform. Because people weren't
Drake-
putting mixtapes
Drake
on
plays-
streaming platforms.
Yeah.
They were going straight to Dat Piff.
Drake plays chess, not checkers, so
Yeah.
he's you know, him and his team, they're very calculated, so I wouldn't be surprised.
was
But there were
terrible.
talks, and you know, we had talked earlier, months prior, about that project being a Gangster Grillz. You know, like Drake had reached. So when that it came out like 2015, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You know, me and him had a conversation like November 2014, and I wound up before it came out. Me and his manager, Future the Prince, had a convo, and basically, you know, they wanted to do it. Like, yo, they wanted to make it a Gangster Grillz, but because Drake is such a brand and business, when it came to like the producers and writers and the label, like
It was a bigger
they
budget.
weren't able to just, you
Cover
can't
it.
just throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's too many people involved, and
Right.
you know, it was, you know, Drake is the biggest artist on the planet, so him doing a free mixtape, like they had to go through those channels and do it this way, and that.
But it definitely wasn't free. 'Cause I'm pretty sure you got a budget for that.
Oh, 100%. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that had to get paid.
Right.
You know, before that, you know, when we put mixtapes out, like producers
Engineers,
wasn't.
producers.
Yeah, everybody wasn't really getting paid. It was just your shit would
Put
be
it
up.
out.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, now we're in a game where a mixtape is no different from an EP or an album. Like when you put it on the streaming platforms, you gotta just paperwork. There's
Clear,
you know
there's everything.
you gotta get your points and your splits and
but the
all
ill
that shit
thing about
together.
it, and I give you a little hint on why artists are doing that now, is because these projects, these kind of like short projects, are not declared albums. So they still have the
Yeah, it's take the
opportunity
pressure away.
to go to a label and be like, well, give me a budget for my first album.
And
Even
it
though
take-
I put out like 10 projects.
And it takes the pressure away
But
of
this is
saying,
my album.
saying this is my mixtape.
Right.
So it's not my album yet.
Yeah, so you can't say my
Like,
album failed.
Exactly.
It's a project, it's
Exactly.
a mixtape. I just threw it out. You know what I mean? Even though the whole thing is original songs.
And we do that as a
That's what they doing.
label too.
It's
Yeah.
We
smart.
put out 3 mixtapes on Jack Harlow before we got to his debut album.
Right.
Like we did 3 mixtapes until and then What's Poppin' hit, and What's Poppin' was actually even on a mixtape, and then we went and did the first album. That's what they all say, you know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace and shout out to Nipsey Hussle. That's where I got the information.
My brother Nipsey, you know, I did a legendary tape when I did Crenshaw and I did Mailbox Money, but you know, Nip was, you know, Nip figured it out, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm a little upset that the Crenshaw that exists on the streaming platforms is the one without me, you know. And what's crazy is that, you know, that was during a time in a space where they were making, like, people would come to me and make a Gangster Grillz version, and there would be a no DJ version. Now it's coming back full circle where everybody wants me to talk my shit and go crazy like it was 06 again, and it's going up on the DSPs, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is like, you know, the nostalgia of it is just like, it's literally came back full circle, you know. And salute. I'm working on that, you know. I mean, there's a couple that's out there that are up there that have been put up there, but you know, that's definitely like something that going forward that I've had conversations and specific projects that I really want to get on streaming platforms, because if not, it's literally like a lost art, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone doesn't know how to go listen to Dedication 2. Or you might have to go to YouTube or something. So
YouTube is the first stop.
yeah,
first
you know,
and last.
like there's a lot of projects that I'm in conversations with to like go re-release and put them back. Similar to what Nicki did with Beat Me Up Scotty last year.
Is there
Now
clearance?
here's a question.
Oh, a lot of clearances, a lot of
clearance problems, right?
I wouldn't even call it problems. It's just a lot of.
It's tedious.
It's a lot of
Tedious
T's and a lot
clearance,
of T's to cross and a lot of I's to dot.
All right. Are we moving towards an area where eventually YouTube will be cutting checks for albums?
I think we're moving in towards an era where everybody, all of them, will be cutting checks for albums.
Would it be possible to collect a check from all streaming platforms for one project?
That's a good question. I mean, I would assume that one of the reasons why someone would cut a check and what people have done in the past has being able to go exclusively to a certain platform to put something out. Like, I know Tidal has done that a couple times.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, Drake did that with Apple.
Jay set it off with the Samsung situation.
Right, exactly. But at the
Magna
same
Carta?
time, you know, all the platforms are necessary to one's career. So it's literally like the radio station, like, you know, if you give your record to Flex, you got to give your record to Clue too. You know what I'm saying? So you know, if you don't want to make
yourself
Spotify
off.
mad and give it to Apple and then they don't get it. So, you know.
If somebody is cutting the check, the first thing they're gonna ask for is exclusivity.
100%.
Yeah. For a certain amount of time, though.
For a certain amount of time,
But that's still.
it depends.
But still though.
But the other
depends.
platform isn't gonna cut you a check after you gave exclusivity to the
Yeah,
other platform.
but I'm
If it's
sure.
hot.
But I'm sure if
They're not
you're
gonna cut
hot
you a
enough,
check.
if you're hot enough, it's more of a don't
It's a
leave us
different
out check.
ballgame, yeah.
I want you on my platform.
because we're gonna get it anyway. Like,
gonna
once
get
you
it
put it
anyway.
up, we're gonna get it. It's just a matter of
If
we're
I'm not
getting it
mistaken,
first.
the most exclusivity that somebody has gotten is like 24 hours.
24 hours,
That's
right?
it.
A couple-
That's what happened
A
when
day tops.
when I was dropping content, World Star and what was it? Remember that era on Smash? They hit me. They're like, "Yo, if you send it here, we need it for 24 hours before you send it out."
Did they give you a check for it?
No, I was like, "We're not doing that. You got to pay us."
As a publicist, one of the main things you would do with an artist was I'm premiering the video with you.
Right.
They say,
Like
okay,
Vivo.
it's exclusive here.
Like Vivo used
for-
to do that.
Right. It's
Yeah.
exclusive
Okay. 'Cause
here
I
for
remember a
24
time
hours.
when I was putting out records, and the label was trying to convince me to give Vivo the exclusive, and you know, me being like an older nigga, I wanted to jam of the week on BET, so I wanted so I wanted to give BET the exclusive, and they were trying to convince me like, yo, these kids aren't watching BET jams, like
Right,
they're
they're
not,
online.
yeah, they're on their phone, like, you know, we're in studios and BET jams is on, and you get hyped to see a video on television, but these kids they're not watching that shit no more. They're on their phones, like that's where they're watching everything.
Right.
when was that convo? What year was that? if you vaguely remember.
2013,
17?
14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah, 2013, 2014,
Okay, so
2015.
But I'm gonna
Yeah.
take it back. What happened with you? Was that was in connection with the whole BMF situation?
No.
Did you feel like there was a possibility that they were like, he's connected somehow, let's go after him?
No, I didn't.
Not at all.
Nah, I mean, when their situation happened mid 2006, my situation happened January 2007.
Again,
6 months.
I never thought about it. I don't think so. I don't
not
think
at
so.
all.
Nah.
But what was it like, that whole BMF era? You said I didn't.
It was like nothing I've ever seen in my life.
Like, give us a tour.
Yeah, because when you say nothing I've never seen in my life, it's like,
I saw
blank.
I saw regular women be in a strip club and right there on the spot turn into strippers, like, because there was so much money on the floor. Like, All-Star Weekend 2003.
That's Miami.
No.
No.
The one in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
It was it was Atlanta, because that's when
Atlanta,
Get Rich or
right.
Die Trying first came out. And it leaked in it, and that's
I'm
what
thinking
everybody
about
was
BET
playing.
Awards in Miami.
All-Star Weekend 2003, BMF had all the cars on Peachtree, like 10 foreigns back to back to back. Traffic was insane.
Right.
Meech got out the car and said, yo, everybody, come on. We're walking to Magic City. Somebody said, what about the cars? Said, let them tow them, we'll go get them later. Left all the foreigners.
Use the tow services valet.
on
And
Peachtree.
you gotta understand, these are Lambos.
That's crazy. Hold on, these are tow. We'll go get them later.
Hold on,
Just like tipping the valet.
These is
Go get 'em
Lambos,
later.
Ferraris, Rolls Royce.
My nigga, when they would come to the
Same
club,
color.
they would come to the club 100 deep, everybody with BMF shirts, and everybody had a bottle of champagne.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yo,
How is this possible?
So
Why?
listen.
No, I'm saying no, because you go to a club, bro, they don't have 100 bottles.
My
of
nigga
champagne.
Blue.
No, listen to
The
this.
first time
Listen
I ever
to this. They
saw
don't have
any
it.
real money, this is the first, my nigga Blue Da Vinci, I asked him.
Wells Fargo. You know what I'm talking about.
I asked Blue to sponsor a Gangster Grillz. This is early Gangster Grillz. This is before they became like street albums, just to put their logo on. And he was like, yo, what you need? Like, what you need to, he was like, I was like, like 8, you know what I'm saying? Like, So he's like, all right, cool. He takes me to the crib. I'm thinking $800. This nigga gives me 8 racks. I'd never seen that much money in my life.
At that point.
At that point. That was the most money I ever seen at that point in my life. Mind you, this is like 2003.
Right.
I never, 8 racks at once. That shit sat in my closet for like a year and a half. Like the BMF, that time, I feel like Make It Rain came from.
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah, that can't, niggas didn't throw money in the air. Like, that didn't happen before BMF.
Right.
Like, that was BMF.
How hard
their
was it to
culture.
play music when they were in the club? Because I remember ESSO was telling me when he was running with his artists, they wouldn't let him play the music, and he had to walk up to Meech. It's like, play my shit, nigga.
It wasn't me. Meech was there, but
Oh.
it was some big nigga. We was in Orlando.
Orlando.
We was in
Orlando's
Orlando
tough.
with DJ Nasty.
Nasty and
And we
Pro
was at
Style.
Pro Style and Nasty, and we went to the strip club with Nasty later
That's an
on.
era.
And we was with Universal. And we was like, why you not playing the records? And they pointed over there like, yo, you gotta talk to the BMF niggas and ask
Yo,
them
that's
and
mad.
ask them if we could play the record. And I was like, bro, I was at the radio station with you. What are you talking about? And I'ma shout out to Yummy. Me and Yummy walked through the crowd. Shout out to Tone Bird. That's how I met Meech
I
and
think
them.
it's on.
That's how I met Meech and them.
Yeah.
Tone Bird. I
Yeah.
met Meech and them on Mad Times. And
Tone
then-
Bird, wow.
Tone.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
out to Tone Bird.
I just seen Tone
and,
too.
and they gave
You just took
Nasty
it
the
back.
signal. Like, I'm a big ass nigga gave him the signal like, yo, it's okay. And I was like, I remember coming back
ill,
and
man.
I was talking to Sylvia Rowan. I said, what the fuck is these BMF niggas doing that we gotta ask them if the DJ could play our fucking record, my nigga, in Orlando?
I remember Cannon telling me how them niggas was just giving him a stack, on stack to just run a record back. And he would
Just
play
like
the,
that, man.
He would play the record just
And they would buy all the
45
bottles.
minutes straight.
45.
Like,
Yes.
BMF ran the club. Like,
Yeah. They came to New York, man, and bought every bottle.
Yeah,
every
every
bottle.
bottle
We
on
walked in the club, they bought every bottle, and niggas was like, we would go try to get a drink, and they was like, they got all the bottles, and the crazy shit is that, you know, niggas ain't gonna go ask, but if you wouldn't ask them for
They'll
liquor,
give it to you.
they would be like, huh.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no problem.
Yeah,
You
nigga.
had to be bold.
Meech was one of the coolest niggas. He was one of the most down-to-earth niggas I've ever met. Like, the nigga was just thorough and cool, bro. Like, he's just a good nigga, man. And I wound up at his house after Wolf got murdered and he was on house arrest. That was my first time actually like really meeting him and sitting down. We wound up finding out.
Did you hear about that night at all?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I was in the scene, so.
You was in this.
I mean, I wasn't there that night, but
Okay.
of course.
What was it like hearing that? Like,
I mean, I heard the story, as it was told, and the situation got
Out of hand.
situation took place in Club Chaos, and it was over a female,
right.
and from what I heard, Wolf, kind of like got escorted out of the club, and he waited outside, and Meech came out, and shots was fired back and forth.
Right. Meech got hit in the hit in the cheek.
Yeah, Meech got hit in the cheek, and then he was put on house arrest, and he beat it for self-defense.
Right.
But yeah, that was the first time I met him. Like, during that time of house arrest, and we found out that me and his son, Lil Meech, we have the same birthday, so. He was kind of hyped to hear that, and he told me, Jeezy was the first person to really tell me, like, yo, Meech fucks with your shit. Like, Meech be driving through campus, picking up Gangster Grillz CDs. So like when I met him, he was already like, bro, I love your shit. I've been listening to your shit, and I was like, Jeezy, like I had a Gangster Grillz party. And this was before me and Jeezy had did the first tape, Streets Is Watching, and then him and Coach took me out to lunch. And he was like, yo, I was at your party in the cut. Fab was at the party. I had Fab, Tip, Killer Mike, I think Bone Crusher like hosting like on the flyer. But Jeezy was like, I was at the party. He was like, yo, I don't really think you know how much the streets fuck with you, like, cause I was in the streets moving CDs, but I wasn't in the streets. You feel me?
Right.
So he literally was like, yeah, like your shit is like in the streets, bro. And he was, that's when he came to me with his idea and his like Jeezy was the first person to ever pay me for Gangster Grillz. He paid me $1,000, to do the tape. He had his vision. He was like, look, this is how I want to do it. This is my vision. This is my movement. And I was like, okay, I didn't know, like, I was, at the time, T.I. was the biggest thing out.
Yeah.
And then I made Streets Is Watching, and my man, Jay from the Raw Report was driving by my block one day. I was with my dad, actually. My dad was in town, and he literally he said, yo, that Streets Is Watching, that's the best Gangster Grillz you've ever done. And I was like, word? Like, the new nigga? And, when they was when they was promoting Streets Is Watching, it wasn't new Jeezy, it was the new Gangster Grillz, because Gangster Grillz was a bigger brand than Jeezy was at the time. And on top of that, the shit got so hot, and that was the only place that the music was, so all the DJs had to play the music with my drops and my voice all over.
I remember that. They was trying to rip your drops off.
So when you go into the
they
club,
was trying.
when you went in the club, you had to hear Gangster Grillz, because the music didn't exist outside of me on it.
Question. Wow. Did it hinder your relationship with Gucci? Because you was rocking with Jeezy? Because it fractured Atlanta when they both were going at it.
Yeah.
Was that an issue for you? Did it hinder your music process?
It was really more of the other way around.
Interesting.
Me and Gucci didn't really have that much of a relationship in the early days. I was familiar with Gucci from the beginning off Black T. You know, there was the White T song, and then Gucci and some other rappers did Black T over. And I didn't even realize how big Gucci was until I got locked up. Because when that one day I spent in jail, I was in there and niggas found out it was me, and I'd be like, yo, who's y'all top 5? Like, you know, we started having rap talk.
My man started surveying for the next tape. He started surveying for the next tape. Who's your top 5? I'm about to drop some fire when I get out of here.
Atlantic Records.
And all these niggas was saying
It was like
guwap.
Guwap.
And I was like, yo, like, damn, this nigga Gucci is hot. Like, everybody that was locked up was saying Gucci.
Wow.
So, around that time, you know, me and Jeezy had our fallout, and then I went and worked with Gucci. And, you know, Gucci had been a fan of Gangster Grillz since its inception. And he was like, bro, I've always wanted a tape.
What was the fallout over?
Dumb shit, egos. We was young. We was both prideful. Just some dumb shit. Like, to be honest, like nothing worth anything. But
Some shit you don't even want to talk about.
it's water under the bridge. Like,
Right.
but yeah, I did go that, you know, once me and him kind of like had that fallout, I went and started working with Gucci, and we did the movie, and that shit was fucking, became a classic. And then me and Gucci went on a run, you know, and it kind of like, you know, it in a way, it like worked in my favor because I then became part of Gucci's rise, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we did fucking 8, 9 tapes together, you know what I mean? We did the movie, we did Mr. Zone 6, we did the Burr Print.
Oh, the Burr.
We did the Cold War, like
That's a lot, but that's a lot of. How much time did y'all spend in the freaking studio?
Oh, that nigga Gucci he was nonstop. That's all he did. Like, y'all gotta think, Gucci's one of the greatest A&Rs in hip hop history. Like,
Dog.
Yeah.
He's brought up so many young dudes in Atlanta,
I mean,
man. It doesn't even
It don't make sense. Yeah.
Migos, Thug, Metro, like
Waka.
It's so
Waka,
many.
like
OJ the Juice Man.
Mike Will's first placement was on the Gangster Grillz, on Kill the Parking Lot. Like, so much shit came through Pee Wee Longway.
His umbrella's crazy.
Yeah, his
it's impeccable.
Godfather umbrella.
Nicki.
Nicki.
He can take,
Wow.
he can take credit for
Oh,
Nicki.
wow.
Yeah, like
Wow.
so like yeah, we start, you know, and there was a time we almost did a Gucci and Drake tape. Like the first time they ever got on the phone together, I had got them on the phone.
This was after he came home, right?
I think he was he locked up or was he out? I think he might have just came home.
Yeah.
He had just
Yeah.
came home.
Yeah.
And I put him on the phone, and they talked about doing a tape together. So there's like 3 records on the Burr Print. No, not the Burr Print. The Cold War series that are like Gucci and Drake records that were for that project. But
yeah, I remember that.
but yeah, the tape never happened. But it was close, you know. But yeah, so yeah, it definitely caught. You know, I mean, me and Jeezy, it's documented. Like we fell out and we wasn't fucking with each other. You know what I'm saying? And you know when me and Jeezy went to go patch things up.
What brought that together?
Hurricane Dave, who worked at Hot 107.9 at the time, you know, he really went to bat for me, you know, and I was on the station at the time, and you know, the situation between me and Jeezy kind of bled over into the streets. And
In what way?
I mean, there were a couple incidents, you know.
Entourages,
Yep. Yeah, there was a
the usual.
There was a situation at Sweet Lounge. There was a situation at the Notorious premiere.
Was that because of your relationship with Gucci, or just from prior, or everything?
It was because
together?
of my relationship with Gucci, and it was because I was
Prior,
I was taking shots on the tapes, like
Got you.
yeah, I was, you know, I was talking shit. And, you know, again, I had somebody in my camp at the time that was fueling it and like, you know, very.
Who was this notorious
You always got a few
instigator? Who was the notorious instigator?
He said earlier, if you rewinded, that there was somebody who was with him who was a hothead. He actually
Yeah.
said the name.
I mean, y'all can go, if y'all do y'all research, you'll figure it
there.
out. But,
It's all good.
and you know, shout out to him, I just seen him in Nashville a couple days ago.
Why is everybody in Nashville? What's going on there?
I don't know, but
Yeah, a lot of
Because everybody's
popping
in
now.
Nashville right now.
yeah, like,
drama, like we gotta move them.
So basically, between Hurricane Dave and Boo Tyam, who was working with Jeezy at the time, we wound up, you know, we had to sit down, you know, and we came to an agreement. Or I don't even want to say an agreement, but we patched things up.
Right.
And at the time, it just felt like it wouldn't be right if we didn't go all the way and try to get Gucci and Jeezy to kind of mend.
Because now you became the bridge.
I became the bridge. Coach K was working with Gucci at the time, you know, after.
After Jeezy,
After
K was
Jeezy.
working with Gucci?
Yeah. He didn't-
Interesting.
I didn't know K was working with Gucci.
Yeah, that's how QC came about. Because
Was with Gucci and all
because
that?
P is Guap's man,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and
Okay.
Coach was managing Gucci, and Gucci made the connection with P and Coach.
Wow.
So yeah, Coach went
I
to
ain't know that.
Coach
Getting
went
a
to go
history lesson here.
manage.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, Coach went to manage Gucci after Jeezy, and then, you know, there were rumblings that Jeezy and Gucci had kind of like seen each other or had a convo, and you know, once we heard about that, we was like, look, let's like, if we're gonna do this, let's go all out. So we had the conversation.
Were you trying to put a Gangster Grillz together with them? It
We
sounds
were-
like we.
Or was it more important? To
Well,
just
they
get
were
the
trying
beef
to.
out
There
the
were
way?
there were song like Jeezy was supposed to get on a Gucci song, and Gucci was supposed to get on a Jeezy song. So if y'all remember, the Trapper Die 2 song that came out, there was a Gucci verse on there, and everybody thought it was fake, but it was real, you know. And then Jeezy was supposed to do a Gucci song that I don't think ever happened at that time. But we went on the radio. We went on Hot 107.9. And I did like a special edition of Gangster Grillz Radio. It was like a Thursday night. And me and Jeezy got on the radio and you know, went live and, you know, made our amends and said, let's get back to work. And then Gucci called from jail and got on the phone. And y'all gotta understand, like, this is at a time in Atlanta where it was like, it really like
Tore the city
up.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Like down
It was
to
fractured.
like down to the point of like kids in school who were like kids of security of various, you know, of both parties, and there were just issues like, you know, if somebody from this camp was in the club, you couldn't play this music. If the other camp was in the club, you couldn't play this man's music. Like, it was tense. That's the only time in my life where I ever felt like I had to look over my shoulder when I would go out. And I didn't like that feeling. Like, I don't like moving like that. Like, I've always felt love from the streets.
Right.
Wherever I go. Like, the streets love me. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So was there like, okay, we going through this drama, but we making so much money right now? Was the money a factor?
In what way?
In a way where, okay, all this shit is going on, these guys are going at each other.
Well, it was
but
fucking the money
records
up. It was fucking the money up because it was fucking the city up. Like, DJs were getting hands put on them, you know, for playing the records, like
Right.
a Jeezy record. If 1017 was in there, or you know, if somebody played a Gucci record, if CTE was in there, like, it was just getting hostile. So when we went on the radio and like patched it up, it was like a weight lifted off the city's
Like everybody
shoulders.
just
Like, it
exhaled.
was just a celebration that night. Like, it was like the verses before the verses happened, in a sense. Like, that was the initial trying to rectify it and get these guys back together. Or, you know, and again, like, some real shit took place. So
Yeah.
we understand why, you know, it is what it is.
Why it took so long.
Yeah, why it took so
but I
long.
gotta commend you for being that bridge. Even though, like,
I got
in
a
those
lot of
situations, it was a lot of, okay, all right, this ain't, we rocking over it. But then turning it around and be like, look,
Right.
I can't, if I'm in the middle,
100%.
then I gotta go like,
100%. And it felt incredible to do that. And I got a lot of, I remember Flex hitting me. I remember Angie Martinez reaching out to me. I had so many people reach out to me at that time. Was like, yo, like, I'm proud of you. Like that was a big moment for the culture when we did that on the radio. You know what I mean? Just to mend that.
Was
That's
that a
movie
power
worthy.
surge for you?
Huh?
Was that a power surge? Did that kind of flex your power, and did that put you on a different stature because you was able to do that?
I've had so many moments that have put me on different statures. So absolutely, because then it was, again, something that I accomplished that who would have ever thunk? Like, literally, I'm on the radio with fucking Jeezy and Gucci mending their situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, and man, every club in the city was playing Icy that night. Like,
bad.
just
And that song was banned. You
like,
know that.
that's crazy.
That song was
like
banned.
niggas was celebrating all over the city. Now you
would've
could
got a club
you
shot
could play
up back.
yeah, you
Oh,
know,
yo, that whole situation was getting bad.
It was bad,
Like
bro.
it looked
Bruh,
like any
it was
minute one of
bad.
them was gonna be on some Pac and Biggie
But,
shit.
bad.
Like, that
but
shit
do you
was looking
understand,
terrible.
like, there's so many other situations that should have been guided that way, and unfortunately it wasn't. And we either lost somebody or we lost two people. So for you to be that guy that's like, that night in Atlanta had to be incredible.
it was.
What made you think to do that even? We've had people sit in that chair and tell us, you know, that's not, it wasn't
not
for
doing
me
that.
Because your name is DJ
put that
Drama, not
together.
DJ World Peace.
Right.
But you was DJ World Peace for a night.
Some dudes
You
will tell
was-
you straight up, like, I'm not getting in between these two, this grown ass men,
Word.
they gotta handle their shit.
Yeah, let it
Right.
figure it out.
What inspired you to decide, okay,
I mean, because my relationship with Coach and Gucci was so strong. Like, you know, I had literally went on a hell of a run with Gucci, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, me and Jeezy had, like, I wouldn't be here if, you know, we hadn't done what we did at the time. And
Right.
it didn't feel right. Like, it didn't feel complete
Right.
if it wasn't the trifecta, you know? And like me and Coach were having convos about it, and it just was like, you know, if we're gonna do it, like, let's do it.
nobody
you know
would
what
have
I'm
Who
saying?
blamed
gave-
you if you'd have stuck
Yeah.
with Guap and just kept going. You had already had the fallout. Nobody would have been mad at you if you stayed.
But I think it would have
Well,
destroyed
Now,
the
who
city.
gave-
Well,
I
Who
wanna
gave
hear
the
it.
most resistance?
Yeah, I want to hear that answer.
What you mean? Between,
As far as like mending it, who was the person that was like, I don't know, man.
Fuck that.
I don't know, fuck that shit.
I wouldn't say, I mean, they both have resistance.
Right.
And honestly, you know, it didn't stay that way for long. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it went, you know, it didn't last all the way up to the verses.
But it
Like,
was nice.
it was a, you know,
Yeah.
It was a run.
Yeah, it was a
Right.
The city
run.
was tense.
Yeah, it was tense, and then
Yo.
you know, it definitely got less tense and took the tension off, and you know, they kind of went back to, you know, not fucking with each other, but I still think at least it was civil in a sense.
What
you
was
know
the
I mean?
approach? What was the approach to get them to agree that this is bad for everybody? What did you approach them with to say, hey, this is why you should stop this?
I mean, honestly, I can't take all the credit for it. Like, it was, you know, it was a situation where there was a lot of people on both sides, like, saying this is, you know, shit's getting out of hand. Like, it just started to affect so many people. Like, you know, like, niggas who were security for both parties were literally homeboys, and you know, now they got fallouts, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like it literally trickled down to like kids in middle school, you know what I'm saying?
Those are
Kids
two really big ecosystems.
What
Yeah,
happened to
huge
those kids
ecosystems.
in middle school? What was?
It was just tensions because somebody's parent worked on CTE side and somebody's parent was on 1017 side, and it just, you know, when it gets to that level, it's just like, yo, like, and like I said, it was really affecting the city because they're both such important and powerful, like, staples of Atlanta, of trap music, of hip hop, of culture, and again, like, nobody wanted to see it turn into a Pac and Big situation, you know what I'm saying? And
But it was heading in that direction.
yeah, like, you know, it was a lot of shit that went down in the streets, you know, because of that. So, you know, just, you know, thankfully, you know, that they're businessmen at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And they, you know, both parties were millionaires, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they also, like, provide and you know, have people's livelihoods that they take care of. So, you know, they were men enough to put their differences aside and, you know, put their egos to the side and, you know, put a lot of shit to the side, you know, to make that decision to do that. You know, and I'm sure it wasn't, you know,
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy, you know, and obviously, like, it took some real time for it to get to the point. I mean, you know, just recently we all went on tour together. You know, we did the Legends of the Streets tour, and it was me, Jeezy, Gucci, Ross, 2 Chainz, you know, so
How'd that
even for that
happen?
to
Because
happen.
Jeezy and Ross got into it.
Yeah, I mean, they
They
been
squashed it.
they've
They
been
squashed it.
Okay.
yeah, they've been
They
squashed.
squashed it.
They super homies now, so.
But even with the Pookie Lope shots,
Yeah,
I'm noticing now, like Gucci just released a song, "We Need to Stop Dissing the Dead," and he's kind of admitting that I put that vibe out there,
Yeah.
and I needed to stop. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you know, if you look at hip hop and you look at the cycle of hip hop, like, who would have ever thought Ice Cube would be doing children's movies? You know what I'm saying? This is
fair point.
the nigga we love to hate. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so who would have thought Tip would turn into fucking
comedian.
or a fucking
family man.
Huxtable?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so I won't be surprised one day if 21 Savage has a fucking cooking show on television. You know what I mean? So with that, or, you know, Jeezy getting into politics, or, you know, real estate, or Gucci being an incredible family man who loves his wife and shows her off, and, you know what I'm saying? And
That's now.
yeah, so I'm just saying,
Evolution.
like, it's the evolution.
Right.
It's the evolution of the game. Like, we've seen it before in past. So what one feels and thinks at 25 is not what one feels and thinks and acts on when niggas in their 40s. Like, don't nobody want to be out
What's
here.
the evolution of drama?
I mean, you've seen it. Like,
Looking at
Grammy.
Grammy.
You heard? And he brought that shit to the building.
Yeah, official.
you know, I went from making mixtapes to becoming an exec and signing artists. Like, you know, like, when you look at my career, like, the Roots are the first group that I actually saw and witnessed get a record deal, be on Rap City and Yo MTV Raps, and watch them tour and become, like, who they are.
Culture, the
Iconic.
Roots band culture.
And it's like, that was my first, like, they are for me, like, oh, you can really do this shit. Like, this shit can really happen. Like, I knew Questlove, I knew Amir from running into him at the fucking arcade, or I knew Thought when he was, you know, rapping on South Street. And I watched these guys get signed and get put on and turn into who they've become. And then years later, I go and make history with Gangster Grillz, with Jeezy, Tip, and Wayne, and numerous other people. And then I start a record label called Generation Now, and I signed Lil Uzi Vert and Jack Harlow and Seti Hendrix. And, you know, like, that's the evolution. Like, and then go and do an album with Tyler, the Creator, and win a Grammy. Like, who would have thunk it? Like, I call, like, my white side, if my white side was the what's it called? Like the dominant in me, I would be a surfer. That's what I would want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you surf?
Yeah, in hip hop. I've surfed.
Surfing the waves.
I've rode waves through my whole career.
This man is a quick thinker, yo.
Too bad you didn't rap, bro.
You should
Something is
rap.
what it is.
This motherfucker
He said
be on his
somebody
motherfucking toes, yo.
You might need him on your first joints.
I got a gangster girl with him though, so I feel like it's cool.
Yeah.
I
Let him
got
get 4 bars, yo.
He got some bars.
Do you think that because you became kind of the peacemaker that led you into being able to sign people and going to the labels?
No, I think my success with my records is what led me to go become an A&R and double back at Atlantic. Because I left Atlantic and I went to E1, and I had did 2 albums on Atlantic, but I had never really had a hit record. And then I dropped this record called Oh My in 2011 with Fab Wiz, Roscoe Dash, and that was my first hit record. And then I made My Moment with Jeremiah, Meek, and Chains, which was my next hit record. And then I made Wishin' with Chris Brown, and you know, that was my another hit record. Well, so during that period, my man Sam Crespo, who had literally worked all my records, and even when I left Atlantic, I still I used to hire him to independently work my records, and he was like, yo, you should come, like I should take the idea to Julie and Craig and Kaiser about you being an A&R up here. So, you know, you're making really good records, like you should come back, you should come into the building. So I can't, you know, he took the idea to him. You know, they were obviously already familiar because I was signed there. Yeah. We had a meeting, and you know, during the meeting, you know, I also was like, hey, listen, I'm building a studio in Atlanta called Main Street Studios. You guys might want to partner with me on.
Can't nobody get in that motherfucker.
I fucking hate you for that.
You can't even get in this fucking studio, my nigga. We tried to go film out there and you can't get in this motherfucker.
Because y'all didn't call me.
No, man. You would have to record that. He has a radio station in there.
It's hard as fuck
to get in that motherfucker.
Studio.
Don't do that,
It ain't gonna be hard.
Maybe
man.
not now,
Like,
but
come on.
before,
He's shaking his head. It's not hard for me.
It's not easy.
They know it's the hardest studio
You got the best
That's the easy
situation in
bag.
that. I love it.
Niggas say he don't even let niggas in there like that no more.
Who are y'all calling?
Nigga, the label. Because I know you got to deal with the label.
That's your problem. Call the boss. Yeah. You know whose name? You know whose name is on the building? Tyree Simmons.
Oh,
yeah. DJ Drama.
Well, we tried to
Atlantic Records is my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but y'all called the wrong people.
They let us in. We tried to film. We was like, yo, we need to get in there real quick. Niggas was like,
the way it's set up, man, you got to do a session in there. Everything's in there. Podcast, recording.
We need to do a record with
listening
Drama.
session.
No, my studio isn't crazy.
You need to do a record with Drama.
I got a wall of fame.
You with the pictures.
With the Polaroids, yeah, it's literally every.
I put my nephew up there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you had beef with his pops over Twitter shit.
What the hell?
Listen.
Power TV.
Oh yeah, but we've been.
Listen.
We've been squashed that.
My dreams have been coming true. I had Funk Master Flex dropping bombs on my shit.
Crazy.
And it would be incredible for us to talk about doing the Gangster Grillz.
You're not ready.
What he said? Doing what?
A Gangster Grillz.
He said I'm not ready.
No, everybody be quiet. Don't nobody say nothing. I need to hear this response.
Said I'm not ready. Nah, he said I'm not ready.
Yeah, I know how long it
response
took you to get Flex some records.
Yeah, that's right, because I was supposed to say.
Yeah, When you get your shit ready, come holler at me.
we was in the studio nonstop for 24 hours
I
straight.
mean, listen, I just tweeted the other day, niggas is calling me for Gangster Grillz like it's 06 again. Like,
Oh, it's different.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, this
Yeah.
shit, the nostalgic, and I love the nostalgia, like it's full circle, like, and that's part of the culture. Like it makes complete sense to me, like to watch how things come full circle. So
Well, I got to say,
Yeah.
with
Hold
all
on,
your success.
Y'all see the battery in Mav's bag?
Oh yeah,
no,
he
no.
on it. As soon as you say he
I'm coming. I'm
he's
very
straight to the
competitive.
studio.
All
right?
right, look,
Charge
look,
him
I'm
up.
very
Oh,
competitive.
you charge him up.
All right. Watch.
100 grand.
Watch. All right,
You
cool.
about to go with? Huh?
Watch.
But for anybody watching, just let you know, the price is a little different these days.
Right.
You
Price
know.
This
went up.
motherfucker
It's
got
not
a Grammy.
This is not a math.
Yeah, he has a.
It's not a
Grammy.
math comment, but just in general, like
Yeah, just
Yesterday's
understand.
price.
It ain't that
Understand
easy.
that.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bag
yeah.
is
Not
yeah.
today's price.
Understand that.
It's a little
Talking
different.
that
The
fat
bag
Joe
is
talk.
heavy on the Gangster Grillz.
But at the end of the day, I'm about the culture and I'm about the music. So if it's something I want to do,
Let's go for
it
it.
don't got nothing to do with no money.
You know what? So are we.
Yeah,
That's why that evens out. So
it ain't about the money.
Nah, I gotta say, the full circle thing. For all the legendary moments that you've had, God bless you. Not everybody made it to see the full circle. And rest in peace, DJ K. Slay.
Rest in peace of Slay.
know
I
you
dedicated
guys
my
had
last video to him.
You guys had a good connection. Can you share with us a great moment that you spent with Slay?
Slay has the only DJ drama verse on his project. The only time I actually did rap is on Slay's song.
But you wrote it.
I didn't write it.
And why did you choose
Willie the
Slay?
Kid wrote it for me.
Right.
Willie the Kid.
Why'd you choose Slay to do that?
Cause fucking K Slay came to me and asked me to rap on his song, and I was like, shit, they can't tell Slay no.
No? Yeah.
Yo, Matt, you want to know what's my favorite moment with drama and Slay? This is because I've been in the strip club for years. So you know the culture of
Memphis
Atlantic
bleed.
strip club in New
Get
York
ready.
is different.
Get ready for the
so
bleed.
drama and Slay are on the stage, right?
Right.
So they're making it rain BMF style.
Yeah.
So all the girls start running and picking up the money.
Where's this at?
Yeah, they
It's
doing
in
it.
New York.
And
Drama's-
me and Slay?
Yes, this video of this. He's like, yo, you leave that motherfucking money on the floor in the air. You don't pick that shit up, bitch. You shake your fucking ass.
Who said that?
There goes
Drama.
the bleed.
Drama.
I ain't
It's
gonna lie.
on video.
I ain't gonna lie. That sound like him though.
Yeah, it's video. And
That
K-Slay
sound
just
just
looking
like
like,
him though.
Yo,
G
he's
shit.
turning red.
John, that's crazy. John, that was you.
yeah.
He's
Yo,
turning red.
I think it was Sue's Rendezvous or something. And it was you and Slay.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. And you was making it rain. And the girl started running. He's like, the fuck you doing? Why you stop dancing? In the air, when you leave that shit on the floor, you shake your fucking ass. Yeah, nigga. This video of this. I ain't making this up.
I must have been drunk, cause that's
Oh no, you was in full Atlanta mode. And I
That's
said,
not
this my
even-
nigga.
Yo,
That's not even
I need
like
that
me.
sound
That's not
bite.
like you at all. To be
I need
No,
that
bro,
sound
like
bite.
that. You know in the A, the girls will stop
we- I
dancing.
promise
Listen,
you, but
you
it's
know,
him, though.
I have
It's
different
him.
time periods when I be in my zone.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm in my zone.
But not like that.
It had to be one of them moments when I was in my
Because
zone.
they literally stopped dancing
Yeah, I
and they
did,
ran.
yeah.
He's like, yo, bitch.
I'm gonna take a shot.
Red he's turning.
I finished mine.
I think mine too. I'm a little lit. I ain't gonna hold you.
Ask this man about the verses, man.
Man, rest in peace.
he
Rest
wanna
in
talk
peace, my
about
nigga
that.
Slay,
Now,
man.
when we got on the phone,
Oh.
Cause I had been DMing this nigga and he been ignoring me.
Oh, that's, he does that to all of us.
Look,
He
first of
probably
all,
must not have seen it.
stop. Don't even make that a thing.
He does that stuff, bro.
Don't even make it, because you're going to have half the hood.
He clearly
Half the
didn't.
hood coming at me.
He clearly
think
didn't.
that I'm doing it on purpose.
He clearly didn't see it. Because I had DM'd him and was like, I think I said, yo, when I'm coming up or something. And then when y'all had Clue on, I was watching and I put it on my story. And I added Clue and Math, and I was like, nah, Clue, like, don't run from this smoke. Like,
right.
yeah.
Because he said the discography would have been the issue.
Man.
No, hold on.
No, just ask.
He said,
When I
something
got
about,
on the phone-
he said something about the eras. Clue said something, he's like, it was different eras, because basically compared to like his era as far as what mixtapes were and to mine, because there were like full albums that it wasn't comparable, but I don't give a fuck who my opponent is. Sign me up.
He wants the verse. He wants the verse and smoke. Monopoly.
when
He
you
wants the
say-
verse and smoke.
When you say,
It don't gotta be Clue.
when
No, I'm
you
just-
say,
hold on,
when you say,
Let's hear this.
you don't care who the competition is.
Listen.
It leads. It's kind of directing
Who we finna say?
towards another light-skinned brother named DJ Khaled.
Oh!
That would be the only other consideration that I could see.
How you feel about that statement? John?
I need to know.
Sign me up.
What happened?
How you feel about that statement, John?
Sign me up.
You're not ready.
Sign me up
You're
and
not
let's
ready.
see what happens.
Exactly.
Oh!
Yeah, man.
I'm
Stop
with
playing,
all
man.
the smoke.
Khaled and drama verse.
Khaled, you heard it.
Hold on,
You
hold on,
heard it.
hold on. Y'all see how he stopped smiling?
He
Dead
stopped.
ass though.
That's what I'm saying.
Did you notice me stop smiling when he said I was
Dead
No, 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 I
serious.
caught that first.
Right.
I'm looking at this face right here. Like this is a competitive.
No, this
He
is
walked
dope.
in here
This is
smiling,
the
right?
smoke.
Yeah, like
He
dead
walked in here, he
serious.
just pulled up a
Nigga
complete
face
smiling. Now he
Listen,
Face
bro.
just went so serious.
Kevin Costner face.
Nigga, I am the culture. I'm the culture.
He
Sign me
closed
up.
his eyes.
I don't give a fuck
That's a
who it
killer
is.
right here.
DJ Drama
Big
versus
GM,
DJ
man.
Somebody
Khaled.
sitting on a
playing,
strong
man.
20 records.
DJ Drama
only 20.
versus
You don't get
DJ
40
Khaled.
And listen,
It's only
this ain't
20.
even before I get to my artist. Can I play my artist shit? Can I play my fucking #1 records from Lil Uzi Vert and Jack Harlow? Or do I don't have to get there yet. Because that might be a little unfair. That might be a little unfair if we talking about that.
That shit.
Those are
Khaled. You know this is Khaled. We talking.
Khaled got joints, drums.
Khaled got joints.
Khaled got joints.
And guess what I got?
Guess what he got?
Guess what I got?
No, I'm not saying you don't got
I
joints.
got culture.
You want to know an idea? A three-way versus.
No.
Listen. No.
Who's the third?
We gotta get these two out the way. We gotta get these two out the way.
Let that man speak. Let that man speak.
Drama, Khaled, and Clue.
No.
Yes.
Clue already damn near ring. No disrespect to Clue, but Clue already didn't like. It's no. Like let
Listen,
Khaled
that would be iconic.
No,
All
you
three
got
of them,
no.
like a DJ
It gotta
set.
be mono.
together,
mono.
set together, a cool set together on some more cool shit.
There can only be one.
Only
He ready to be the one.
No,
He
gotta
ready?
be mono.
three,
We
ain't no
mono.
three.
Ain't no
Ain't no
three.
three.
Ain't no
No
three.
three at all.
I shut me down like I'm some bum ass nigga.
Listen, if there was no Clue, there would be no DJ Drama.
That's fair.
DJ Khaled has done some amazing things in his career. He has taken the DJing to heights that we have never seen before. And I salute him for that.
And with that said,
I'm with all the smoke.
He's with all the smoke. You heard?
I'm with
Yo, if that verses go down, that's gonna be the first verses I ever attend.
Yeah.
If Khaled
Yeah, I don't
and
care where it's at.
If Khaled
Nah,
and Drama,
where it's at.
Nah, we mobbing
I
that
don't care where it's
we
at.
mobbing out.
I've
We
never
going.
don't care
attended
where
not
it's at.
one
I'm here for
verses,
that.
my nigga. I'll be
scared.
at that one.
And again, I want to take credit.
and at the end of the day, it'll be a celebration for the culture.
Facts.
Because
Absolutely.
you know, we both
After you win.
we both
I like you.
You know what's gonna be? They're gonna have the battle of the drops. You're gonna hear Khaled, another one, and then Little John, gangsta. That right there alone
John
is
got like 5, 6 of them though. John got like 5, 6 different
Yo,
drops.
bro.
Khaled got the one like.
All I know is
Feel
my
you?
expert opinion.
Bruh,
is in the
we
building.
both got a lot of shit.
Bruh.
Absolutely. It's Arsenal
And
versus
listen,
Arsenal.
it's
Yo,
gonna be a master class.
That's a whole 10 minutes just in the beginning. Like whatever stadium
Pop
this
shit,
this
right?
take
Pop and
Look,
shit.
when y'all post this clip, let's see what the people say in the comments.
Who wants what?
All right, you heard him. You heard him?
Let's
Leave
let
it in
the people-
comments.
let's
But
let the
I
people
need you to
talk.
do this before you just think, because marketing is a motherfucker. It's a motherfucker. I need you to go look and see what records are going up and just
Put them in the
type
comments.
the whole shit out in the comments. And the best one, we're gonna discuss it on the show.
One thing we know about Versuz that we've seen time and time again
You said this.
is it's not always about who has the biggest records.
How you play them
It's
things.
about
Order.
who touches the culture. And culture, as we've seen, takes the cake on Versuz.
Facts.
That's true.
Why don't we fly somebody out, man, to the Versuz with us? Whoever types out the best list, let's fly them out and let's take them to Versuz with us.
Yo, but if you're in the comments, this is for the initiated. You can't just be coming off the porch. I don't want to hear no uneducated opinions.
No, but that ain't
man.
no.
And
No, you can't
I'm
do
not
that.
saying
If you
I'm
trying-
doing
if you
that.
trying to
Hold
go
on.
after the
I'm not-
Versuz, you can't do that.
I'm not sitting here saying who's gonna win. All I'm saying is sign me up.
Yes, you are.
I gotta say though,
You fooling.
I gotta say,
Just listen to you for 10 solid minutes saying who's
the
gonna win.
verses, the
I just
verses,
said sign me up. I'm with all the smoke.
the verses is a
I'm gonna fuck who my opponent is.
Yeah,
Versus
that
is a
translates into I'm
huge-
gonna win.
the verses is a huge occasion, and it's monumental for hip hop. I was in the building for Dipset versus The Lock.
Oh
Shout out
man,
to-
I
That was the one right
I was
there.
at home watching that shit
I
in front
watched
of my
it.
TV like a 13-year-old girl watching a Justin Bieber
just like
concert.
this.
You like.
And I was there.
That was
doing the
amazing.
same thing.
I was at the Jeezy and Gucci one. I was in the building for
That was
that.
the moment.
That was
So, yeah.
That was a moment.
Yo,
I had
don't
to
want-
be there.
I want to say, Jeezy got the rebuttal of the year.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
The decade.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was a.
Which
bruh.
one? Say it.
No, when after
When he stood
Say
up and then
Gucci,
dropped
and
him
he
the
was like,
realest nigga
"Listen,
in
man,
it.
these,
You already
these
know.
young
Yeah.
boys is doing what we do. You know, I'm a grown man. You
Uh-huh.
still stuck in the past, though. Yo, when he let it.
Yeah.
I'm
But
the
the
realest
dopest
nigga
part to
in
me,
this, you already know.
the dopest part to me was watching them perform Icy together.
That
and
was-
seeing
yeah.
the excitement and seeing even the joy on Jeezy's face. Like, they probably have never done that song together. Like that, watching them do Icy and like the
That might have been
culmination.
the first time they performed it.
facts.
Because
That's the video.
after that, the beef.
After the beat
wow.
started immediately
That was the first
after.
time they performed Icy.
What you guys say, S?
No, because you brought me back to something, and I usually don't like to go back. What can we think that the thought process was with Gucci having Coach K as his manager after Coach K was with Jeezy when all the conflict went down? Like, what type of trust did Coach K instill in him to take over his business, to know everywhere where he was going to be going, knowing he was Jeezy man too?
And like
Jeezy
you were in the
fucking
same
Kinky B.
situation.
I mean,
Shout out to Kinky
It was
B
like
too.
a regime change.
You know, with
Yeah, like-
it's business. You know, Coach K is a businessman. You know, and I mean, the opportunity presented itself, and you know,
Business is
I
business.
don't think, you know, at that point, you know, I guess there was no loyalty, or however the situation ended with Coach and Jeezy. You know, it was like, hey, you know, this man wants my services, I'm gonna rock with him. You know, and there were a couple people that, you know, were like Twin, you know. Twin came from the Jeezy regime, and, you know, he's now over at QC. Coach, you know, like, so, yeah, there were a few people that, you know, kind of went to the other camp during that time.
Were there voices that you needed to quiet down because they didn't necessarily want to see the beef in? Still instigating, still putting extra
Nah.
grease on it?
I mean,
Because you know how the entourages do it.
I mean, you know, somebody lost their life, so,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
deep.
I can't say that everybody was
That's usually the
happy to
willing to-
see
the
that.
point of no return.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
usually the point of no return. So to see that being set as an example,
yeah.
like I hope all you, and I know you're listening, 24 to 35, y'all high. Y'all just as high as the 45 to 55 on this show. It's almost level,
Yeah.
which makes this show uncanny. 24 to 55, level.
That's an amazing range, yo.
I know y'all hearing this, and keep that in mind. when you put yourself in a position to get away from the bullshit, you don't double down. You always keep that optimistic mind of making things better and setting an example, whether you like it or not. You are an example, whether he likes it or not. He's an example. There's gonna be another DJ that's gonna squash something because he's gonna remember what DJ Drama did.
It's the blueprint.
Just keep it in mind. This is where there is something as it being hot, and then there's being great. And those moments are what define your greatness. Keep that in mind.
Drama. Math did a battle with Geechee Gotti, where he predicted how the feds
RICO.
are gonna be,
I broke the whole thing down.
you know, really attacking hip hop, and currently your town
This is 3 years ago.
is under attack from Thug to Gunna to, and they're trying to
Look.
get everybody else.
People are placing bets on who's gonna be next.
Talking about Lil Baby, and we're not wishing that. These are the names they're coming after. Like, what is the hip hop scene dying down in Atlanta? Is it shifting, or they're crushing it?
Like,
Yeah,
what,
it's
what is
definitely it's shifting. The air and the aura of Atlanta is not what it once was. Like, you know, Atlanta has always been known for its camaraderie, for artists working together, for the town being a good time. You know, in the last couple years, there's been a lot of shootings and deaths and situations that have, you know, made it to where me personally, I don't go out in Atlanta. Like
you used
I go
to?
home, I go to the studio, I go to the gym, and
That's it.
that's
That's
it.
that.
Like, you know, the town feels it almost feels like we're turning into what New York
turned into.
in the
Early 90s.
early 2000s.
Oh, 2000, oh.
Yeah, so, you know, and it's unfortunate because, you know, we were the city that always celebrated and everybody worked around and bounced the studio and vibed together. And not to say that that doesn't still exist, but,
Yeah.
you know, with the recent situations and indictments and, you know, it's definitely put a cloud over, you know, our culture and you know, the hip hop scene in our city.
Well, I gotta ask, because 21 sat in that chair, and me and MECC was going back and forth over competition, and he said Atlanta artists don't care who had the hottest verse. Is that true?
They don't care who had the hottest verse?
Yeah, like
said-
if there's
yeah.
a compilation joint or a joint with mad collabs on it, they don't necessarily care about who had the hottest verse. They care about the record being hot itself. Is that true?
I mean, I could see that. You know, he's an artist, so respectfully, he could probably answer that better than I can because, you know, he's a rapper.
I'm
He got
asking
this
you
thing.
because you've probably been in the studio and
I mean,
you've seen
I think hip hop is just a competitive sport in nature.
Right.
So I think when anybody wants to get on a record with anybody, like the goal is to, you know, have the hottest. I would hope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would think, and I would want because it only makes it that much better if everybody's going for theirs.
Right.
You know, so I think his answer is an answer of that shows the camaraderie that Atlanta has and shows the love and the type of admiration that artists in Atlanta have for each other. But yeah, I don't think, you know, and again, yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, they may go in like to make a dope record, but nobody wants to get smoked. You know what I'm
For
saying?
the record, we didn't agree. We
Yeah,
didn't agree with him.
We didn't,
Yeah,
we didn't
like-
believe that.
We just didn't.
we didn't believe. Yo,
Yeah.
21.
No, 21 salute.
Mad
Salute
love.
to
Had we been
21. Thinking on the
We didn't
spot,
believe
I
that
would have
shit.
brought up the fact that Luda and T.I. were going at each other over the hottest verse.
on one record on Stomp. Like,
And T.I. ran around the whole South trying to clean everybody out on some I'm the best. I'm
Yeah,
the king
for
of
sure.
the South. So
Yeah.
But maybe
instantly get
21, that's 21's vibe and the people that 21 is around.
He said
maybe that's
we.
where he's living.
He said we don't do
but,
that
but
shit.
that's what
in
I'm saying.
Atlanta.
Maybe that's his vibe and the people that he's
He be
around
around.
in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
well, come
and
on
who's
outside.
dealing with, and that's his shit.
I mean, if I think about
but
somebody,
that's what he's living
if
now.
I think about somebody like Baby, like Baby is out here fucking niggas up on records.
Yeah.
So like,
Thank
you.
Purposely.
he's not taking that shit for
A
leisure.
backseat
Like,
to anybody.
yeah, like he's out here on his Wayne vibe. Like, I'm giving you niggas these bars. Like,
Okay.
I'm trying to show you I'm one of the ones.
Okay. Because now you're talking my language, and you just reminded me of something I wanted to ask you earlier. Doubling back to Generation Now. As a man who's been riding all these waves and seeing all these things happen, you've made all these transitions, and you have a legendary place in connecting two people who are at war.
Let's not forget creating waves.
No, I'm going right in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's the conflict that I'm zoning in on, because you've had conflict in your camp. You know what I'm saying? Like from
Right.
your own artists, the people who you've brought on and put on in the game.
Yep.
And your ability to squash beef between two grown men went a lot smoother than your ability to squash this beef between like you and your own artist.
Yeah.
He just looked, he's like,
What's the question?
Why is that? What was so difficult about this one that wasn't, that was easier about the other one?
because that Uzi shit was everywhere, man.
Y'all gotta understand, first of all, like, when Uzi made our situation public, like, Uzi was up here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he had a fan base of 12 to 20-year-olds that whatever I would have said, it didn't fucking matter. Because Uzi is their GOAT. And his voice was way more powerful at the time than mine was. And at the end of the day, his success is still our success.
Right.
So, like, we took a stance in a position where, listen, we're gonna let it play out, let our work speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? And it was during a time when, like, a lot of dirt was being thrown on our company's name, on my name specifically. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I can come out and I can defend myself and share my side of the story, or I can go into the mean streets and get the work. And, like, I never wanted anything but the best for Lil Uzi.
Because you're giving me the business approach now, but I'm
So-
thinking about the personal aspect, because you only wanted the best for him.
I mean,
Before it even
like,
got a chance to go public.
It was unfortunate that it played out in the public, but families feud. Like, it's not the only situation where an artist has had an issue with his label. Unfortunately, ours was public, and it played out the way it played out. And I wish it would have went a different way. I would have loved for Vert to go around waving the Generation Now flag and go out and say, yo, DJ Drama and Don Cannon are legends who allowed me to come into the game and do what I did. But that wasn't his approach, But hey, it works out that way sometimes. Well, guess what? My man Jack Harlow stood right next to me, and when the fire was on and, it wasn't cool to be next to DJ Drama, Jack Harlow took a picture and posted it and said, this is my guy. And, I salute to him for doing that, because he didn't have to put himself in that, you know what I mean? He could have stayed out of the way and let it play out however it wanted to play out. And, he really, at a time when there were artists that we wanted to sign that kind of were told, I don't know if you want to go to Generation Now, Thankfully they didn't, to be honest. I'm not gonna say no names, but, like, Jack waved the flag.
Wait, hold on. Who?
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Swear it doesn't.
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Pop, I'm with you regardless. I'm riding with you. I got your back.
YK Osiris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got me. Duval,
Okay.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks
It's my
for
little
that.
nigga. He'll tell you today, damn, I should have signed. He tells me all the time. Damn, I should have came over there with y'all.
Still, what
What-
was the personal?
You think
This
this
is
is
a-
because they're both from
You,
Philly?
no, not. I mean that.
What was the
but
personal between me and Vert?
You took the kid from point A to point B to watch him react and throw dirt on the company. Your company, your baby, knowing the blood, sweat, and tears you put in to get this kid to where he is. I know that had to feel. Just saying it out loud
mean,
makes me feel some.
Because y'all
He's
both
young.
from Philly too. That's
100%.
I still want to know
tough.
how he
Young.
feels about
Yeah,
it.
he was. I mean, he was
He's a
young.
baby.
He's young.
He's young, and he comes from an era where, you know, he went to social media with like, you know, we always had that type of relationship. The first thing Uzi said to me when I signed him was, "Drum, I'm gonna be more famous than you." And I was like, well, shit, nigga, I hope so. If not, then I done failed. Like, yeah, like, nigga, I hope, if you're not, then I didn't do my job. So we always had that type of relationship. I don't, you know, and like Cannon and Uzi really, like, they made the magic together. And I literally, for the most part, like, me and Lake stayed out of their way when it came to that. And Lake was handling the business, and I'm the walking billboard who's going around screaming Generation Now and Little Uzi Vert, and he's up next and what have you. So, you know, like, we had a kid that was just, you know, he was rebellious, you know, he was our rebellious child.
Did you do him dirty?
Absolutely not.
So it had to feel some kind of way with him claiming that you did him dirty.
We didn't do, listen,
It was a
man.
misunderstanding.
I wanted.
People have put out contracts, like, and we've seen how situations have played out. Let's just say that there's me, Cannon, and Lake. We are three individuals, and then there's Little Uzi. We split our cut 3 ways, and he gets his cut. And his cut off top was a higher percentage than ours.
Our 3.
And we're 3 people that split it 3 ways. So I'm gonna let y'all do the math. Like, we did nothing but help the kid and, you know, be a part of his career for his success. So when the whole Free Uzi campaign came out and everything, yeah, it hurt, it did. But one thing about me is, I've been doing this shit so long, I got such thick skin that I look right past that shit. Cause all that shit that was online and all them little comments, when I go out in the street or when I go to these concerts or when people see me, nobody says nothing like that to me. They say, yo, Drum, it's a pleasure to meet you. You're a fucking legend. So I don't give a fuck what the internet had to say.
Pussy.
That's a fact.
You know, and the other part about it that I didn't appreciate, and it is what it is that the way Uzi as his own man had every right to go where he wanted to when it came to management. He chose Rock Nation. If that's where he wanted to go, by all means. But the narrative should never have been Rock Nation saves Little Uzi from the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yo, we are 3 young black men who went to college together in the 90s, who were friends. Me and Cannon used to split $150 to do parties, who came up together, who changed the mixtape game. Lake put in blood, sweat, and tears, interning at Rockefeller, managing Dog Pound, managing Mace, managing Bobby V.
Cannon, your beats are crazy. by the way.
Cannon did
Yes,
some of the.
yes.
Your
Cannon
beats
made
are ridiculous, by
Cannon
the
made
way.
Go Crazy with fucking Jeezy and Jay-Z. He made Cannon remix one of Lil Wayne's most heralded verses. He made Outkast the Art of Storytelling Part 4 on my album.
Yeah.
Like, and then we're prime examples of you can mix friends and business.
Right.
Okay.
How do we become the bad guys? How is it that we're looked at as if we're the young black American dream?
Right.
3 niggas that went to college together that made something of themselves within hip hop culture.
And took an artist from
and
0
took an
to
artist,
100.
yeah, and took him from 0 to 100. And then Rock Nation saves Lil Uzi. Get the fuck out of here.
But that's the storyline of everybody. Rock Nation saves Meg Thee Stallion. Rock Nation saves Meek Mill. Rock Nation and Jay-Z saved 21
All I'm saying is,
that's the storyline.
listen, man, I love Hov.
We all do.
We all love Hov. He's top of my list, one of my favorite rappers. He's an inspiration to all of us. And I don't know who handles the PR or
I can guarantee it wasn't him.
They do a great job though.
Yeah, but the story the story shouldn't have been painted in that manner. It was unfair to us, and it wasn't kosher. Like, that's not what it was. We never did wrong by the kid. We've done fair business. Hence why my career has lasted as long as it's lasted, even through the dramas that I've been through. Like, I'm a good guy. Like, I love this culture. I don't do it for the money and the fame and the women, and I do it because I thrive off being a part of hip hop. I grew up fucking wanting Adidas because Run DMC made a record about Adidas.
Look at his face.
I grew up fucking.
Tatted on.
You know what he was about to say, right?
What H
No,
John?
me and him argue. I'm not interrupting
You gonna get us
drama.
some Queen shit?
He's gonna say, you see, it's like Queens.
Shout out to South Jamaica Queens. Since they
You knew it was coming.
bring it up. Shout out to South Jamaica Queens.
See, when he was saying all that whole shit, I could have went broke, but you just couldn't help.
We didn't say nothing.
He brought it up.
Look at my look
Here
at my
we go.
knee.
Say anything. I just want to talk
Here we go.
Man,
Here
it
we
went to an
go.
argument with me and him about Queens and what certain things, it had nothing to do with
No,
drama.
he
That's why I
started
looked
it.
at him.
He started
He
it.
started it. I wasn't
Yeah,
trying
he
to interrupt
did
drama.
every time.
Facts. Yeah, did this every
Yeah,
time.
you been trying to
Listen,
interrupt drama.
for the record, I want to
Then
say.
drama really watched. He say he on some Queen shit now. Nigga.
For the record, I want to say I can afford any type of footwear out there, but I saw Hov win. Okay.
What's those?
Pumas.
Yeah.
I ain't mad though.
I can
Puma
avoid- I can
Puma got
avoid it,
some
too.
Some slick styles right now. You know what I'm saying? Since they got involved, since Rock Nation got involved with Puma. I recognize.
So where do you stand with Uzi now?
Oh, we're great.
Yeah.
Everything sorted out.
Yeah, y'all didn't see the picture from the BET Awards?
you cut him a big check.
We took a whole label picture, me, Seti, Lake, Vert, Jack, Sunny Digital, like, it was a whole Generation Now picture, like, him and Cannon back working,
That's dope.
back in the studio,
Did Uzi ever publicly make that known?
He didn't have to. Last year we took a picture of the BET Awards, me, Jack, and Vert, like,
That's good enough.
that's
for you.
that's all I needed, like, that's public enough, you know what I'm saying, like, and that was the first time they ever met, you know what I'm saying, and it, it was
That's the first time. I'm sorry.
Jack and Vert had ever met, you know what I mean? And Jack was a Uzi fan. Like, I'm sure part of the reason why, beyond the legacy of myself and Cannon, like, the fact that we signed Little Uzi was, attractive to him to come on our label, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, like,
the vibe.
Vert, like, like, it's part of the game, man. Like I said, like, it's just another chapter in the story. But, I never wanted or needed him to publicly say this or that. Like, I just want to see the kid keep skyrocketing. You know what I'm saying?
And
really
drama
being
keep
a
getting
good guy.
paid.
Your humility is amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Every now and then, when things like that go on, you'd be like, God damn, I should have named myself DJ Peaceful.
I've said that before. Every time I'm like, yo, when I name myself
right there.
when I name myself
rappers.
DJ Drama, like, yo, like, literally, I'm telling you, God fucking chuckled.
He was like, oh, you're asking for it. All right, cool.
He
I'm gonna give it to you.
every time I get into some shit, whether it's in my career or with women or something, I'm like, yo.
Well, speaking of women
this shit-
and controversy,
And it was great.
how are you and Drake right about now?
I was just about to say,
We good.
y'all
We
squashed
good.
the beef,
That's
right?
Yeah, we're great. Yeah, we was
How'd
at.
y'all squash the beef? Is what I wanted to know.
This shit
What sparked it? Was it your
This shit's
was
crazy.
it Jack? Because I know Jack fuck with.
Yeah, they have
Womack
a
lot.
real great
Yeah, they have a
relationship.
great
Jack.
relationship.
That's
Was that
like, it's
part
like
of
his,
squashing it?
No, we had already like squashed it before that. Like, time healed it. You know, me and him had our conversations. You know, when him and Meek first made up, I was in New York and I told Meek, yo, call that nigga right now and put me on the phone with him. Like, nigga, you got me in this shit. Call that nigga right now.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got on the phone then, we spoke, and then, you know, just even through like DMs, like he was, you know, he had reached out to me and told me he had fucked with one of Seti's songs. He had fucked with Low Key. When Jack and Bryson did a record, you know, he had reached out and, you know, it was like, damn, I wish I had that beat. And I also, you know, I took accountability with him and I made amends and, you know, I apologized to him for my role in the situation. You know, I manned up and, you know, he was like, yo, it's all good. Like, you know, one day we'll be able to, you know, we're gonna sit down and, you know, clear the air and
Gotcha.
and then so, you know, we had some we had had some talks through the last couple years. Mm-hmm. And I also think, you know, the fact of his relationship with Jack, you know, and me watching that, you know, I reached out to him. I was like, yo, I appreciate the love you show my guy, you know, and he was like, that's my man. And, you know, when I went to Toronto for Tyler's show, and Drake came to the show, and, you know, we kicked it and we talked. We watched the show together, and then, you know, just recently we all were at the Kentucky Derby together, and, you know, we did the video for Churchill Downs, and, you know, I mean, it's cool, you know, like, the situation happened, you know, it was a hip hop moment, you know what I mean? And like, I've talked numerous times about my role in the situation, and, you know, like.
He's being petty.
Nah, really, Meek threw me under the bus. Like, that's what it comes down to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Why these Philly niggas always going at you? Meek, Ooze.
What's up with that?
City of
Whole
Brotherly
team.
City of Brotherly Love.
Yeah.
And now we
Yeah.
anticipating Cassidy versus Freeway going down, but it's the city of brotherly love.
City of Brotherly Love.
Ain't no love.
But your
Right.
humility, like I said before, is awesome.
And listen, I like, you know, I'm, as an artist, like, I have nothing but admiration for Drake, you know.
Yeah.
You know, before that situation, like, when I would go to Toronto, like, him and his team would come to all my gigs. We used to go to dinner. You know, I would go to OVO Fest every year. Like, that was my guy, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, unfortunately, you know, Meek put me in an awkward position, and, you know, again, I played a role, you know what I'm saying, and I manned up on it, and, you know, I'm glad to see that, you know, now it was a hip hop moment that we all got to enjoy, and everybody's moved on from it, and you know, we're cool. Like, you know, it's water under the bridge. You know what I mean?
Quick question: top 5 rappers that can't be trusted around women.
Jesus Christ.
That's ill.
Snipers.
He already got 3 in his head. He's just not saying
He
it.
can't say though.
I'll tell you. They can't be trusted around. When you say
Around women.
trusted,
Because they snipers.
You know.
You not
You want me to tell you snipers?
You're not.
Well, I'm not worried about. I mean, it's not me not taking my girl around. I'm just
not
telling
you.
you.
know that
But
resume.
you know, like,
Who are the snipers?
all right, no matter
who
how
are the
loyal
snipers?
she is, he's gonna try it.
Who's a sniper?
I mean, I'll tell you who the snipers are.
Okay,
I'm
who's the
not
snipers?
going to necessarily tell you who's going to try it.
No, but go for the snipers. I live for this shit.
All right, Vert's a sniper.
Versus
Yeah,
sniper.
he legend.
French is a sniper.
Yeah,
French.
we know French is a
For
sniper.
13 years, man.
French is a
Yeah,
sniper.
nigga, what?
French been a sniper.
What?
Major sniper.
Drake's a sniper.
Yeah.
Of course he is. Of course he is. You know, battle rapping, I got stories on this nigga. Like,
Fab's a sniper.
Oh, legendary.
Sniper.
Yo, y'all gonna get me in
Legendary
trouble.
sniper.
Mano? That's
Well,
Can I say R&B nigga?
don't spoil it.
Can I say R&B nigga?
Yeah.
Breezy.
That's regular.
And that's the 5.
Breezy sniper.
Beware. Beware.
I'm just glad this
Even though it's an Usher quote,
I'm not
don't
one of
leave
them
the girl
niggas.
around
I don't
me,
like
she play
fucking
with.
niggas bitches.
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
Yeah.
Not if they my home. Like, I just don't. If you my man, I can't look you in your face and shake your hand and then go at your girl. Like I just
that's corny.
You're not into, but
I'm not into that.
I'm not into that
But
either.
collateral
But
damage
rap-
is cool though, right?
Of course.
Yeah, my nigga, thank you.
I like you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but if it's my woman, like if you go at my woman,
that's a problem.
just don't shake my hand. That's all.
Right.
If you see me, don't speak to me.
That's real shit.
If me and you, like, if we cool and we good, and you go at my bitch, don't say nothing to me.
Because that's a sign of shaking hands is a sign of respect.
Yeah,
Going at your woman is a sign
if you
of
go on my
ultimate
woman,
disrespect.
Listen, a man's gonna be a man,
Right.
and a woman's gonna allow a man to get however it's really in the woman's hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A nigga's gonna be a nigga regardless.
Right.
Nigga's gonna be in them DMs.
But you tried it, and you know.
But and you know that's my girl. Like, just don't speak to me, bro. Like that's all. If you know that's my bitch, don't keep it pushing.
Don't act like
you can try my bitch, and if she goes, she goes.
Right.
But just after that,
But if
like,
she don't go, do you still shake the hand? Like,
No.
you
no,
tried
fuck
it?
no.
Our boy say nah. No.
Said he like, what?
It is what it is with me. I ain't gonna hold you.
Not if we home. Not if we home. Now, if you ain't got no like, I don't want to say loyalty, but if you ain't like, if we ain't
Casual.
cool, like if you just a nigga out here and you see my bitch, and you go at her, like you ain't got no loyalty to me, like that's what niggas do. It's on her to stop that. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not mad at any nigga for trying
A beautiful woman.
at all.
He
Right.
may not know. You keep
He
your
may not
business
know.
low.
May not know.
You
He may not know.
niggas know.
I mean, they know though.
Nigga,
Especially if you're all over.
They know.
the
Nah,
page.
they know. They know.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? What like if somebody does it on record? Is it considered flattery or?
What
is
you
it-
mean?
It's like disrespectful. Like Kevin Gates going at Beyonce.
That's thuggish.
I think that's disrespectful. You don't think so?
That's thuggish.
It's a man.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. Again, I'm not doing that because I just don't because of how I just explained to y'all how I feel. I would be hypocritical, like to
Condone something
to
like
condone that type of behavior. Like I don't. If I know a woman has a girl. I'm sorry,
a
excuse
woman
me.
has a man.
If I know a woman has a man,
Well, no,
if I
DJ
know
has a
a woman has a girl, I'm on board. I'm with that. We can go there.
You
But
and your girl.
if I know a woman has a man, like I leave it at that. I might say, yo, holla at me if it don't work out. You know what I'm saying?
That's still a shot.
That's still sniper.
No, it's not.
That's definitely sniper.
Holla if it
That's
doesn't work
definitely
out.
still sniper.
I'm not gonna take her number.
With you and your man.
I might
Fuck
give
is
her
wrong with
mine and say,
Nah, same shit. Same shit, bro.
Let me find out you number 6. Let me find out you number 6. We got number 6 in the building.
He just said he ain't gonna snipe, but he fuck up.
no, I didn't say we fuck up.
Right.
Niggas fuck up. I'm not saying use
Let me
me
tell you
as,
something.
don't use me as tit for tat. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if it don't work out.
I'm not the revenge plan.
Yeah, I'm not
You sounded
that.
a lot like number 6
Nah.
right now. Like, you sounded a lot like number
Nah, I
6.
be in the crib, man.
Sniper.
One
I
thing
be in
I
the
will
crib.
say,
I be working, man.
I'm gonna nickname my thumb
your
drama.
catalog,
I don't even be out here
your
like
catalog of choice
Yeah,
is absolute. I know all of them. I met all of them. I said,
He said I know all of it.
Yo.
Summer.
He might have been TM.
No, that was my
He might have been TM.
shaking in his shit. I said, he just looked at me. Why you going to the guy? I said, yo, I was heartbroken. I said, this is a hell nigga.
Yo.
Then he went with another one. I said, yo, this nigga.
Yo, man, Paul is someone to kill on that note, bro.
I'm not mad at
I have a
it. It's
weak,
life.
I have a weakness for beautiful women.
Right.
And nothing wrong with that. That's a great
We all
weakness.
do,
No, I
John.
gotta ask you.
Yeah.
We all do.
How do you feel about polygamy?
It's not for me. I can barely handle one.
Oh, for the love of God.
Yeah, nah.
That's a real nigga right there.
Nah, get out of here, man.
Yeah,
Grow
nah,
up.
nah.
You can
I
have more than
agree.
one.
I agree with him.
Nah, not in like a relationship, like
Yeah.
married or a real relationship, polygamy. Fuck no.
Yeah, it's too tough. It's too crazy.
No, one is enough.
All right, listen, every man got to do for himself.
Yeah, I mean,
feel
I'm
it.
not a juggler. Like I'm just.
You wouldn't have to be.
But have you ever been in love with two women at the same time?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
60-40.
Now let him answer.
No, we just ad-libbing.
No, this
Look at
ain't-
him, look at him.
No, I don't have to wait. I know a yes is gonna come out of that.
No.
What?
Never.
I believe him.
How is that possible?
Not you.
How is that possible?
Never.
How is that possible?
In love with
With
two
two
women
women?
and just conflicted.
He might have enjoyed.
I don't know if I would call it love.
Welcome to polygamy, bro.
One was love and one was lust.
Welcome to nah.
I mean, listen.
If it was a conflict, it was love.
I've had relationships that have overlapped.
Right.
Okay, the standard.
When one is kind of
Tailing
not
off.
completely done, and I start a new one.
Right.
That's been kind of
That's how you do it?
that's
a thing?
It's been that's something I've tried to work on and
It's part of your
Hold
habit.
on. Wait,
it's a bad habit.
Wait, here's the question.
It had been a bad habit in my past.
Here's the question.
And as I've grown up,
Right.
I no longer do that.
Here's the
Right.
question.
That's ill.
At that time, when each of those women said, "Do you love me?" Were you lying to one of them?
I mean, I tell them all I love them.
Oh, for the love of God.
That's like, I ain't gonna lie.
I'm just going.
Do that.
I know. I didn't say it was right.
But I'm asking
I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was
Oh,
right.
that's right, nigga.
I didn't
Were
say
you
it was
lying
right.
to either one of them?
He wasn't lying.
Nah, I love them all.
That's my nigga, B.
So he did
there
love
it
him.
is.
He keep it a bean,
There
bro.
it is.
He keep it a bean.
I'm a
You
lover
gotta
boy.
love
So
him. Keep
if
it
they
a bean.
would've be
You
like,
keep it a
you know
bean.
what?
A lot of niggas be lying.
It's the life.
She's okay with
That's
me.
why
Y'all
me,
niggas
you
be
know, me
lying
and
like
Drake
they don't love
probably
you
have had
hoes.
some issues because we,
Yeah,
Loving the same broads?
yeah,
The same broads.
we're both certified lover boys.
Here we
That's
are.
my nigga
That's why I
though.
said his list, his choice is like
Math.
you go to a
Math.
steakhouse and it's the top of the top.
That was
He just kept
that was
going through a
checkmate,
row.
bro. That was checkmate.
That was checkmate.
That was
The interview's
checkmate.
done.
Checkmate. That
Oh,
was
the interview's done.
He
Oh,
walked
the interview's
himself
done.
That was that.
right into that.
That was
I
that.
love them all. Well, that kind of sounds like polygamy to me.
Oh yeah.
Could have sworn
Nah,
that was
but
the
I-
Oh yeah, he
definition.
killed it.
Nah, but I
Seddy
polygamy-
Hendrix,
Yeah.
Haitian gangster. You want to talk about?
Man, Seddy Hendrix is that nigga, man.
With this, come on.
Well, he can't say
RICO
that.
shit going
Well
on.
said.
bro.
Haitian in behavior.
Don't just
I'm not
point niggas out.
Haitian in behavior.
Well
I'm
said is the
Jacksonville,
hottest
Florida.
Gangster Grillz out right now.
Oh, see, Gangster Grillz.
John, you said that?
Well
You
said
said
is
that?
the hottest.
Oh, you trying to get that on video?
Yeah, y'all
Oh, no,
already
we gonna
said
release
it.
the clip.
Get that on
cool.
video.
Y'all
Oh no,
already
no,
said
get
it.
it on the video.
We're gonna send that to you.
That's
We're gonna
OG.
send
You
that
gonna
to
get
you.
that clip.
That's
You gonna
OG.
get that
Listen,
clip.
Man,
That's
body
gonna
to
be out.
body, passion, can't go,
Vibes.
well said, groovy. Hit them lights.
Groovy, that's
Like, my nigga, like, it's nothing but joints
Groovy,
on
that's
there,
a line.
man.
My hand fucked up.
Seti is
I ain't gonna
up.
do you like
Seti
that.
is
I'm
up
already
next. Seti is now, generation
When we
now.
did the interview with him during the COVID over the Zoom, you could feel the energy, and he was just rolling up like.
Yeah, he was cool.
Low key is still a classic. You know,
Yeah.
people don't even realize. People hear the record and be like, "Oh, that's you!" Like, I love that record. Like, you know, like he already got a classic under his belt. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, City, I gotta ask you, how does
Talk to
it
him.
feel to have someone who's been such a big part of this culture say that about you?
I ain't gonna lie, that felt real good hearing him say that right now. It's probably a biased opinion because like these like the uncles and fathers I ain't never had. You feel me? So it's like hearing him say that, knowing I've been a student of the game before I even thought about signing to him. So it's like it's amazing. It's at least I know I got the real ones believing in me. Not saying no disrespect to none of the other labels who got some of the hardest artists in the game, but it's like, come on, bro, like. This nigga got Uzi and Jack, bro, and telling me that I'm next is like
Superstars.
come on with it, superstars, like with a Grammy,
like,
Congratulations.
superstars.
You believe
yeah,
in
for
it?
real, like,
So
that-
you believe in them?
130.
You trust them?
130%.
All right, so we ain't gonna have no situations where you like
Fuck
freeze.
no. Nah, hey John, it's crazy. It's
Cause
crazy.
we
though.
gonna run this clip back.
Listen, oh my mama, listen though, listen. Oh, it's crazy. That's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. We just been having this talk the whole tour though, like no lowballing nobody. You feel me? Niggas already done showed their colors and everything like that, but it's like. You feel me? I'm here. Like, I'm not going nowhere. There is no other label I'm going. Like, I'm getting GN tatted, all that. Like, I'm locked in for real, It's deeper than music. It's deeper than music, though.
I'll be
It's
honest
deeper than
with you,
music.
I would love to see you, Jack, and Uzi just do an album
or
together.
album.
We got a Generation Now compilation coming soon.
Oh!
Do I know my shit? Do I know my shit?
Bro, what you about to say?
Do I know my shit? Yes, I do.
Before we wrap up, what do you look for in a star make you want to sign them?
Oh.
I mean,
Cause Uzi.
there's definitely a twinkle in that eye. You know, it's a twinkle in that eye. It's somebody who knows, like, Jack, Uzi, Seti, like, regardless of whether we came along, I feel like they were gonna be here. You know, we just gave them the shoulders to stand on, you know what I'm saying? You know, we've seen clips of Jack Harlow rhyming at 12 years old, like, this little white boy in Kentucky, you know what I'm saying, that they used to laugh at. He looked like Napoleon Dynamite when I signed him, you know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, when I sat down and talked to him and heard him tell me he wants to be one of the greats, you know, when I first met Uzi and, you know, the passion that he had or the confidence that he had at 19, you know what I'm saying? It was like, oh yeah, like, you know, this is special. And I also have a great team, you know? It's like, when Cannon first came and said, yo, Lil Uzi Vert, I never heard no music. I said, let's do it, run it. I don't wanna miss no more artists. You know, when Jack was brought to me, like, nigga had 7,000 followers. I followed him. He later told me, he followed me back. He's like, I'm gonna sign a drum. When he came to the studio, we wound up talking. He was like, what are you into? I told him, I love watching movies. We had a convo about movies and we just bonded on that. And, you know, Seti snuck into the studio and Willie Joe, one of our A&Rs, was like, yo, this is a new kid we gonna sign. And I was like, let's do it. Like, you know, I have trust and belief in my team enough that, you know, if they bring me something, I'm with it.
That's beautiful.
You know, because you never, like, no one can, as much as you want to say you can predict, like, what? Do you think I would have known that Lil Uzi would become one of the GOATs of his generation and, like, become this fucking rock star of enormous heights, or that Jack Harlow would, you know, be fucking hosting the MTV Awards and have 2 commercials during the NBA Finals, a New Balance commercial and a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, like, and that every woman in America wants to fuck the shit out of him. Like, you can't predict that. You know what I mean? You gotta trust the process and, like, you know, like.
Another Philly line.
It's a, you know.
He said trust the process. You guys are rappers. Trust the process, Philly line. Yo.
It's right there.
All right. Joel Embiid.
Shout out to the Sixers.
Final question.
Final question?
Yeah.
Should James Harden
Oh, jeez.
Oh shit.
stay on the Sixers?
I like that question, man.
That's a great one, man.
That's a great close.
Or should KD come in?
Just
He's
know,
a real Philly
just know
nigga.
he's gonna see you courtside.
He's a real Philly nigga right now.
He's really thinking about
Yo,
it.
He's really thinking about it.
he's political right now.
And
you
what-
fucked him up.
I
right
wanted
now.
to ask what the fuck did y'all do to Ben Simmons, but nah, I'm not gonna ask that.
No, leave him alone.
You fucked him up right now, man.
Yeah.
Bro, we can see
now
the
you thinking
team
about it.
coming
You
to
fucked
have
him up
Who you
right
said they
now.
should bring over there instead? Who you said?
Kevin Durant.
No.
Let KD come to the
No,
Sixers.
no, it's a question.
No, we got the real
That's
question.
not
Don't
the
let him
question.
hopscotch.
No.
Harden, answer his Harden question.
I mean, if Harden puts the work in, as he should, and shows up in the playoffs, then yes.
Get this nigga.
Get him the
Vote this nigga for president right now. He's a politician. He got a Grammy. He's a politician. You have to get an Emmy for that. Come on. DJ Emmy. It's over.
Yo, you know what your next Gangster Grillz should be?
Trust the process.
No, DJ Grammy, yo.
The politician.
I was just gonna say the politician.
The politician.
Politician.
The politician
Grammy
will go
Grillz.
crazy.
My next,
I like trust the process.
my next
Now-
Gangster Grammys.
My next Gangster Grillz is called I'm Really Like That.
Yo,
I like that.
I like
And you
that.
heard it
that.
first right
I
here.
really
That's right.
like
I like that.
I like
Yo,
that
shout out
shit.
to Mero. You need to get Mero on that.
Yeah, that's his line.
we'll show you the
says
clip.
that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll show you the
He
clip.
has a bunch of clips. I really like that. Like, that's his thing.
All right, cool.
Yeah, y'all can have a skit going back.
All right,
I
fire.
could plug y'all in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Or you could just use the clip from here.
No.
One just
They-
released.
they-
talk
they-
on
Oh
it.
yeah, OMBPZ just came
30
out.
minutes ago.
OMBPZ?
Gangster
Yeah, I
Grillz,
just did an
Mobile, Alabama.
OMBPZ. Yeah, shout out
Let's
to
go.
When I
OMBPZ.
really like that come out.
It's coming soon.
On his birthday.
Cause just off
coming
the
soon.
title, I'm lit off
Yeah.
of that.
I'm really like that, and I got
really
and I
like
got new music dropping very very soon. Yeah, I played y'all the video. I
Oh, that was
I
a good
showed
one.
y'all. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. That's gonna fuck the streets
I
up.
would love to do an ACMD joint with you.
All competition
We
must
talking
die.
about. We'll see what happens.
That was one of his greatest series when we used to shoot the music videos for you. Trust me, John.
That's when it was really all competition was.
Yeah.
And niggas was doing too
That's
much.
some. That's some
Can I
great
hold
music.
the Grammy before we leave?
Oh, we taking pictures with it, nigga.
No, but he went
I
on
just wanna
camera.
end it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't do
I think
anything
they
with
do
the
the
Grammy.
Grammy.
Bring that motherfucker back here. Excuse me for cursing.
Yeah, it's not right unless
He
I
bought
end
the
it.
Grammy.
What are you gonna say?
to the
No?
barbershop.
Can I hold the Grammy before I leave? Nah.
Oh no, we taking a that shit going on.
Bring
tour
it
like-
over here,
like the
Detroit.
chain.
Bring it over here, Detroit.
Yeah. Shout to Michaela, the super assistant. Yeah, it's only right.
One and only.
Who cracks the
we end
Casamigos
this.
early? Casamigos cracker.
Listen, I'm really like that.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.